What up, Buckeye Nation? Welcome to the Scoop. And boy, do we got a scoop for you today. Michigan head coach Sheronne Moore fired. But why? Why was he fired? We got some details for you guys today. Before we get going on that, be sure that you hit the like button. Be sure you hit the subscribe button. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcast, hit that subscribe, hit that like button as well, and head on over to the Scoop message board. If you want these goods a little bit before we tell you on the show, head over there. They're always over there. Go do it. But without further ado, I'm going to need some help. There's some big time stuff to dive into, some details that are going to blow your guys' mind today. With that, let me bring on my good friend Nevada. What's up, Nevada? How are you?
Well, I'm taking a victory lap right now there, Devin, because we told you that this was happening. We got a lot of pushback. I got to give credit to the great Justin Spiro, unbelievable work that he did on this. But we told you, and the Michigan insiders came out, and you can go back and check the receipts, go back and check the posts, go back and check the tweets, go back and check the podcast we had about Sheronne Moore. His firing was it was imminent, and here we are 5 days after signing day. Sheronne Moore's been canned, and can't say that we didn't tell you, and can't say that those loser Michigan insiders like that big fat Sam Webb got out there. His post aged well, where he's like, "There's absolutely no truth to that rumor. Sheronne Moore's done nothing wrong. It's going to be here for a long time." And it's like, no, Sam, that your post is going to live for a long time. But we have consistently scooped the Michigan insiders and all this stuff. But this was good. But I got to be honest with you, and I've said this since day one, and I mean this sincerely. I'm sad about it. Not sad because he got run. I'm sad because he sucks. I mean, he's a terrible coach. And I really wanted him to stay there for a very, very long time. So, but turmoil is good. Upheaval is good. Just watching those guys kind of get it is good. But whoever they hire is going to be better than Sheronne Moore, because Sheronne Moore was completely over his skis. He was a sacrificial lamb. We always knew he was a dead man walking. We've been saying this for a long time. Um, but yeah, he got run today, and Scoop at it first. What more can I say?
Yeah, I know it's pretty crazy. That seems to happen often, and you get people that do shows based off of the stuff that Scoop puts out, just specific shows to tell us how wrong we are, and then lo and behold, come out it is the truth. But I'm with you, man. That's my first reaction to this was, dang, that sucks, man, because I wanted him to remain the head coach for, Michigan for quite some time, because it was very obvious to people that know football that he was way over his skis on this job here. But the details coming out from this, what you have is a program that is like literally the lowest that you could possibly get in college football. If you want to go to a program and learn how to not live your life, and learn how to not be a man, and learn how to cheat and screw society and forget everybody else, this is where you go, man. I mean, I don't know what else everybody needs. Everything that has led up to this, everything, I mean, we could talk for days and days and days just based off the past 3 years of what has happened inside of that program. And the things just keep getting darker and darker and darker. And it's almost to the point, man, where this sign stealing stuff came out. You hear some of the details, and they're so ludicrous that it's like, man, somebody has to be making these up. Well, the details that are coming out about why Sheronne Moore got fired is another one of those situations where you're like, dude, after everything this program has done, are they really going to allow somebody to stay in this program that is going to do the things that he's being accused of doing? And the answer is yes, man. The coach gets fired. There's a reason why he gets fired. But like you said, shout out Justin Spiro. He came on that show with you guys and dropped some pretty heavy stuff on that show, to the point where a lot of people were like, man, I don't know about this. I don't know if this is true. Well, being reported, it's pretty darn accurate, Nevada.
Well, yeah, and here's the story. Now that we've kind of got this, now we can kind of unwrap this, and there's lots of layers to this because it's a fascinating tale. First of all, Sheronne was involved in multiple extramarital affairs with staffers at Michigan. Okay, some people have speculated that the person he impregnated was Tony Alford because Tony Alford appears to be in his like third trimester right now, but I do not believe that. I do not believe that to be true. I do not believe that to be true. So I want to correct the record on that. That I do not believe that Sheronne Moore has impregnated Tony Alford. However, he did impregnate another staff member and then paid for her abortion. But again, this was a number of the. This was I won't say double digits, but it was more than on one hand in terms of people that he was involved with. But and that's a kind of a sordid tale, but what's interesting about this is that Michigan has known about this for months. They have known about this for months and they've sat on it. It was okay behavior. You know why it was okay behavior? It was okay behavior because somehow, some way, Sheronne Moore had lucked out and beat Ohio State back in 2024 in Columbus. And so they're like, we can't fire this coach now. He's still we've got a shot at the college football playoff. He beat Ohio State in 2023 as the replacement coach. He beat him in 2024 as the head coach. He's got the magic fairy dust, and we can't fire him. So they put up with it. So they buried it, even though they knew they have all the same facts they had today. They had then. They sat on it because that's what the Michigan people do. They sit on this stuff, even though they knew. But now, Ryan Day brings the squad up there to Ann Arbor. They run a train on Michigan. Pardon the pun, there, Sheronne. But after the victory, now it becomes completely. Now his behavior is completely unacceptable to Michigan. Now they can't put up with the behavior anymore. Now that he's got the loss. But wait, we've got National Signing Day coming up. So we can't fire him just yet. Let's wait until after National Signing Day. So they sit on it for 5 more days. After now, get Hyder in, get Meadows in. Their class sucked, but they don't want it to completely go apart at the last minute. But they wait until after signing day. Then they drop the hammer on Sheronne Moore, firing him for cause. Now that this cause, but think about it. Sheronne Moore, his defense on this thing is going to be, hey, if my behavior was so egregious and you've known about this for months, why did you fire me months ago? If it was cause, why wasn't it cause back in June when you knew about this? And Michigan's not going to really have an answer for it. So I think he's going to have a very strong case. He'll probably get a very big settlement to kind of go on down the road because they don't want him spilling all of his secrets. They knows about that. They don't want all the discovery that would come with this. But what a mess. We've talked about how Michigan is a morally bankrupt program. And to me, look, Sheronne Moore, he's doing his thing, whatever. I'm not going to stand here in moral judgment of Sheronne Moore. But for Michigan, the institution, to have buried it, they've known about this for months. They've sat on it for months. They put up with it for months. And now, and only after signing day, do they make it an issue. Just when I thought they couldn't sink any lower, I think they absolutely hit a low. So that big fat turd, Ward Manuel, he's got to go to. That guy is absolutely got to. They have to clean house on everybody there at Michigan. This is now. All the Michigan fans are all, oh, we're gonna go get Chip Kelly. Oh, we're gonna get this, and I'm like, guys, do you just realize what take a step back for 1 second and look what you guys have put up with. Look what you guys have done. It's just disgusting. And I'm not surprised by it. This was not shocking news to me because we told you this was going to happen. We told you this on December 1st. We told you this was going to happen. It just took 9 days for Michigan to kind of had to get past that signing day, but they finally tuned in and finally did it.
Yeah, you want to hear an example of two opposite programs. One of our coaches, right, inquired about a head coach job, took the job 6 hours before signing day, and decided to announce it to the whole nation, right? Michigan's head coach gets his executive assistant of the program pregnant, which is what reports are saying, and they hold it for a long time, right? Who knows how long it is? Nevada, you said something interesting. It's like you wonder why they hold the information as long as they have. But well, Sheronne Moore has been a part of this program through everything, through all of the sign stealing stuff, through the quorum in the business. I'm sure he knows all those details. So I wonder how much fear Michigan has now of having to let him go. And you wonder why, right? They held it back for as long as they. It's absolutely disgusting, man. Sheronne Moore is married with 4 children, right? And going out and do it, it's absolutely disgusting. And then the kind of example that you set for people inside your program to sit on this, right? And continue to play football games, continue to recruit kids and families into your program when the head dog of your program is running around doing those things. I cannot, I would put a large amount of money that they're still not going to be able to keep everybody in their recruiting class because some of these families cannot be too happy with what is going on, man. It's absolutely, I mean, if you can still defend this program after that, if you are a fan of them and you want to defend your program, I could hear people right now saying, well, it was one man's action. No, it wasn't. They've known about this forever. That if they've known about it, then how many higher ups have known about this and they have kept it in the dark and they did not come out with it immediately? It just goes to show you the amount of character, the type of program that they are. It's absolutely disgusting, man. And it shouldn't be anywhere around young men that are trying to like learn. You're supposed to be an example for people. And the entire university is just an absolute crapshoot, man. Absolute crapshoot. And there's nobody with any integrity running that place for this thing to happen, for them to hold on it that long. I wonder what else is going to come out of this, man. I have a sneaking suspicion there's going to be some more details coming out that's going to surprise a lot of people.
Well, just think about it. This, I mean, we're podcasters, and I'm a podcaster that lives thousands of miles away from Ann Arbor, and somehow I had this story. So you're going to convince me that the higher ups at Michigan didn't have this? Like, come on! Like we had this weeks ago, months ago, and Michigan has this. And so when do they decide to drop it? They drop it after signing day. They drop it before the portal open. You know what I'm saying? Like they're trying to find the optimal time in terms to do this thing. This had nothing to do with moral outrage or cause or trying to do the right thing by the program. This was them time. They knew exactly when they wanted to time this thing. They knew exactly what they wanted to do. They want to be able to keep their class together, sign those guys, lock them in, try to get to their players as quickly as possible before the portal opens up, get out there, because if they waited, if they were actually doing a full-blown investigation that was going to take months, this could have carried forward into February or March or something like that. That could have been a real problem for them. But now this is what they do. But this is the Michigan program in a nutshell, and it's just disgusting. I mean, it is absolutely disgusting what's going on there. And Sheronne Moore as the leader, as the head coach of this thing. Like I said, I don't even know how they were possibly going to have these conversations with these recruits that they just signed. You know what they're going to go with, Devin? They're going to go with, "We didn't know. We had no idea. Had we known this, we would have told you this before." But they knew. They always knew. They always knew. And so this program, which is the most corrupt program in all of sports, everybody knows it. All for the AD from Penn State to come out publicly, and it was public. It wasn't like to his wife. This was like him telling people how what a bunch of cheaters Michigan is. I mean, and now you have this. How perfect that you have a cheating scandal with your head coach on top of your cheating thing with Connor. I mean, I don't know how Michigan fans would even wear the gear, man. I don't even know how Michigan fans will go to the opt-out bowl or whatever bowl they're going to be going to and, yucking it up about, oh, it's great to be big bull. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Bryce Underwood. Now, do I think there's a big market for Bryce Underwood? No, because Bryce Underwood
Mm-mm.
sucks. Bryce
Yeah.
Underwood, just like Sheronne Moore, sucks. Um, but does he stay? I hope he does because I want to beat him the next 3 years when he's there. Um, but yeah, what a mess! What a complete and total mess. Nothing surprises me anymore with Michigan, but this was just a funny day. Like my phone has been absolutely blowing up since the moment this came out. Everybody's listening. Oh my gosh, you guys have this, and it's like, yeah, we told you. This is
Yeah.
I'm only surprised a little bit by the timing, which I shouldn't have been. I shouldn't. This is really optimal timing to do it. But I thought it would take a little bit longer for them to go through the motions of an investigation. But lucky for them, their investigation finished right after signing day and before the portal opens up. So, wow, those Michigan people just lucky, I guess, that that's just the way things work out.
Yeah, Spiro is reporting that they knew for months, not weeks, months. There's a couple things here that the dots can start to be connected on. Number one, right, we had one of their star linebackers, a super spiritual, super God loving linebacker, all of a sudden put out a statement that he no longer wants to play football. And he kept saying in his statement that it was a calling from God. And right, I'm all about callings from God and all those things. Everybody knows my my testimony and whatnot. But man, would it kind of make sense that this dude who loves the Lord and loves living his life right maybe caught wind of this and said, no, I cannot be anywhere near a program like this or anybody? That would make more sense to me. And then the other thing is, a lot of people want to make fun, want to do certain shows about us breaking the news about Michigan purposely shutting our comms off in the second half. What did Sheronne Moore have to lose? Nothing to lose. He knows he's going down. He knows he's busted. In fact, Michigan knew that this was going on at the time. Therefore, what's it going to hurt? Let's cut Ohio State's comms in the second half. Our head coach got his executive assistant pregnant. He is married with 4 kids. Let's cut their comms. I mean, we're already up a creek that without a paddle, why not do it? So, man, this all kind of connects a lot of dots. They just keep digging themselves deeper and deeper in a hole. And there is nobody connected with that program that has the common sense enough, the integrity enough to come out, just completely clean the slate. You know, you wonder, man, what would have happened if the NCAA would have done their job in the first place and done what was needed? Would Sheronne Moore still be there? Would he still be there putting these players in this position? So you could back up and ask that question right there. If the NCAA would have done their job in the first place, all these rats would have been rid from this program in the first place. But I mean, who knows? There's so many dots that can be connected here. And to be honest with you, it's not surprising to me anymore. I mean, every time we report on these guys, there's a group of people that listen to us because they know, right, that we're not just out blabbering, we're not just out saying stuff. And there's a group of people that want to try to make fun. And lo and behold, it comes out and it's true. The sign sealing stuff drilled it 100% correct on everything we reported there. This Sheronne Moore stuff drilled it 100% correct. We'll keep laughing and keep making fun of the comms being, disconnected randomly. And now this stuff coming out, all of this stuff, is just too eerily connected in my mind for it not to be true. It's just an absolute crap show there. And, you sow what you reap. You know what I'm saying? You want to cheat your way through a program, ruin other people's lives, man. Karma. There's a saying out there in Nevada. I'm not going to say it, but we all know what karma is, right?
Well, yeah, and the whole look the Sheronne Moore thing is so interesting. So you know that they're going to try to make him the fall guy in this comms thing too. You know that's where this is going to go. Like when the thing gets leaked, when it comes all out of the comms, what they're going to say is, "Well, that was Sheronne Moore, and we're dealing with that with the Sheronne Moore firing." He's going to become the fall guy for all this stuff, and Sheronne Moore. It, it'll be interesting to see who they get to replace him now because you're stepping into a job at Michigan where you talk about the bowl ban and the NCAA should have done the bowl ban. Well, look, Ohio State gave them the bowl ban. Ohio State knocked them out of the college football playoff, so they got the bowl ban. Now you've got the double whammy of a Michigan football program that is under assault that has got a huge financial penalty from the NCAA, and now it's got a huge buyout to their coach on this for cause, not for cause, silence, the coach thing. That's going to hurt them. And I know people don't like to hear that, like, oh, financial penalties don't mean anything. Michigan's got so much money. Man, this stuff hurts. And something like this isn't going to help fundraising for Michigan. The fact that they had a scandal with their head coach, this stuff's embarrassing for Michigan. And when it gets out that Michigan knew about this all along, that they've known about this for months and didn't do anything about it, I think they're gonna have a Palace revolt on their hands. I think they're gonna. I mean, think about Kerry Combs. Kerry Combs just got hired, what, 5 days ago or whatever it is. Like, he goes over to the dark side, Mr. Buckeye. You know, Kerry comes over and, oh, now I'm a Michigan man, and go to there, and then Moore gets fired 5 days later. So, like, that's the shortest honeymoon in the history of honeymoons, right there. Because any coach that's going to come in is going to bring his own staff, gonna clean house on guys. So I mean, I look at the impact on all these people that it's gone, and it's so funny to me that Michigan has done. They just have no regard for what this does to their people. And let me ask you a question, Devin. Had Michigan beaten Ohio State in Ann Arbor 2 weeks ago, do you believe that they would have fired Sheronne Moore if their Michigan's going to the college football playoff? They've beaten Ohio State for the fifth year in a row. What do you think would have happened to this story at Michigan? Honestly, what do you think would have happened?
Yeah, scarlet glasses off and everything. I fully believed it would have got shoved under the rug, just
Yeah.
like they tried to shove everything else under the rug, man. And it partially worked for them in the sign stealing stuff, partially. But absolutely disgusting, man, with what they're doing. I mean, the implications on this, like, yeah, the Kerry Combs stuff. So I'm curious. When they sit down to interview Kerry Combs, he's sitting in the office, and whoever's interviewing him is interviewing him. Was it Sheronne Moore interviewing? I wonder, making the decision to hire
Oh,
him. Do they
it would.
let him know these details?
Yeah,
Like,
well,
what's
you'd
going
have to
on?
be. I mean, he's one of the 10 accountable coaches. I mean, Sheronne Moore had to be the guy hiring.
What's
Hey,
going
Sheronne, anything I need to know? Nope, Kerry, everything's fine on this end. Not a thing. Not a thing.
on? Oh
Smooth sailing
man,
here, Kerry. And then you take the job, and there's an issue of reliance. There's a legal issue of reliance that you've taken this job, and now also this guy had to have known he was under investigation. He had to have known that they were aware of his bad acts. He had to know that he was his firing was going to be imminent, but he let Combs take the job. He let a guy just completely, like, throws. I mean, I'm not saying I don't want to be too dramatic, but that's not a great thing for Kerry Combs. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And cry me a river, but, like, you just took a job and then your coach is fired 5 days later on something that he knew about. But yeah, on the Michigan thing, if they'd have beaten Ohio State, I guarantee you this story would have never come to light until,
yeah.
the next one. They would have buried this thing so deep. They would have looked past all this. They would have been blissfully unaware. But somehow, some way, he loses to Ohio State, and what happens within 12 days of that? He's fired. The investigation has been completed, and he's fired.
Yeah,
Come on. Like,
yeah,
like, come on. For the recruits, I want to hear what they say to the recruits. I cannot wait to get the interviews with the recruits and have the recruits be like, well, yeah, Michigan called up and they said, this just came out of the blue. We had no idea this was with Sheronne, but you've committed to Michigan and you're part of the program, and your position coach is still going to be there, and blah blah blah. I mean, that's what's going to be, and it's all horse malarkey. It's all BS. And hopefully any of them that are discerning can look at this and kind of go, man, you're just zooming me, man. Who's zooming who? Well, you're zooming me on this one, on this story. But yeah, no, Michigan is really at such an interesting place. I will say to you right now, I do not see any way that Ward Manuel survives this. I do not see any way that because he's going to get splattered on this, because Ward Manuel knew about this. And when you talk about Michigan knowing, we're specifically talking about Ward Manuel. Ward Manuel knew all about this from his subordinate, the head football coach, that he was involved in shenanigans. And Ward Manuel decided that it was okay because hey, the big blue thing, we're still in the playoff hunt, Devin. We're still in the playoff. 9-2. We got a shot at the playoffs. We beat Ohio State. We can make our argument for the playoffs. They would have buried this thing, man. This entire story would have never seen the day of light. And it's like, or light of day, or night of day, or guiding light, or whatever light. But it would not. It wouldn't have come out. And now here we are. So yeah, just this has just been such a fascinating treatise on everything Michigan and what they stand for and what they're about. And for Ohio State fans, man, you can be proud that we don't run our program this way. I'm not saying we're perfect. I'm not saying that we're choir boys or do everything, but something like this would never. Ohio State would not allow something like this to go on for this long and sit on it. They would not bury a story like this that had these types of implications to the culture, to the sanctity of the program. But for Michigan, this just Tuesday, just another day at the office.
We fire head coaches for tattoos around here. That's what we do.
We do.
But real fast, guys, if you're in here watching, hit that like button for us. Super chats are open. They go to the Pay It Forward. Help our veterans out who help us every single day. Just a quick reminder there. Nevada, just got an interesting text message. I want to put this into perspective here because Michigan's known this for months, and you keep bringing up signing day, right? Well, there was one recruit in particular who was a little wishy-washy on signing day. I just got a text message that says, bye-bye Hyder. It says, bye-bye Hyder on it, and he was wishy-washy on signing day already. Michigan had to throw him some more money just to stay around in the class. He ended up signing, and all the fans just went crazy over it. All their fans, that was the highlight of their class. Of course, Carter Meadows got nothing there. But you just cannot convince me, Nevada, that Michigan sat down with the parents and their recruits and were honest, saying, hey, look, our head coach, he cheated on his wife, got another staffer pregnant. We haven't decided what to do with him yet, right? We're doing an investigation to find out. But hey, we still want you to sign here. You're going to be super successful here, surrounded by a lot of good people. We're going to make sure that your son is raised the right way to be a man. Do we honestly believe that these recruits would still sign there? Their parents would let them still sign there? Now, I don't know everybody's story, right? I don't know what money can make people do. But man, I'm telling you, there's going to be implications from this. And you also brought up a good point, too. This is only the beginning. Okay. If you remember the sign stealing allegations that first came out, remember all the details that trickled out later. One thing led to another thing, which led to another thing, which led to Stallions having an LLC with Quorum, which led to this, which led to that. There's still so many unanswered things there with them throwing laptops at the bottom of ponds, right? And then you bring this up too. They just fired Sheronne Moore with cause, yet they have known for months. So that's going to be a whole other implication that's probably going to have to get resolved in court. And when you take things to court, a lot of things must come to the light. So, man, with everything that's gone through this program, and also to add, look how many head coaches have been fired. So when you're Michigan, you're looking around for a new head coach. Where are you going to go? Look what Penn State just went through. Where are you going to go get somebody? Who's going to want to come in and be a part of that when this is about to last for another 6 months to a year? Your AD is going to get fired. Your president's probably, do they even have a president? Did they rehire one? I haven't even kept up. I don't know what's going on there, but this is about to, the sign stealing set them back for a long time. This is about to set them back even further for a very long time. And this is going to lead into so many other things, man. When you operate your program like this, I'll tell you this, when one thing comes to the light, whatever came to the light's not the only thing that's been going on. It's just not. How many times have we seen that happen? There are a lot of other things going on in that program that this could possibly start leaking to the light as well. And we don't even know the half of it, man. You got a program that's known their head coach has been doing this for 2 months. I mean, look at the level at which they're willing to try to hide things, right? Like you said, if they would have beat Ohio State, this is getting shoved under the rug. We already knew the level they would go with the sign stealing stuff. This is a whole other level in itself, right? So when you have a program that's willing to accept these things, to continue to let your coach these players because hey, they put football and winning above everything else. They will do whatever it takes. It doesn't matter who they hurt, what they do to fam. It does not matter, man. It is just a horrible way to live. And I promise you, this is not the only thing coming of this. And I promise you, the interesting text message. 5-star Savion Hyder, is he going to remain? I seriously doubt that some of these recruits are going to stick around with this news coming out and the lack of applicants that they're going to have to sign up to be the head coach there.
Yeah, well, it's going to be interesting. The job search is certainly going to be interesting, but I think to your point, for Michigan, like the stories like the Quorum LLC. I know people wanted to dismiss, oh, Quorum. Like at this point, how can Michigan get the benefit of doubt on anything? I mean, how can you give Michigan the benefit of doubt on anything? You know the culture. You know that is it's just a rotten place where it's been described as a cult where people are just trying, like they'll do anything to win. That's why on the comms, how can you give them the benefit of the doubt on the comms? You just can't. I think there have been multiple scandals that have come before this with the hockey coach, obviously with the basketball coach. I mean, this is not an isolated. This is not a one-off. This was not just a Harbaugh thing. This is a systemic problem at the University of Michigan, and they've got to fire Ward Manuel, which again, I'm not thrilled about because I think Ward Manuel sucks. So I want him to stay there forever, but I think he'll get run as well. I think they're gonna run everybody in the organization, and they're just gonna have to start over because this is about as bad as it gets right now. And I think for Michigan, they've already owned this mantra being the cheaters, but now when it takes on kind of a different thing, we're still talking about Bobby Petrino and that thing all these years later. This one's gonna last for a very long time. This is, the memes and the Sheronne work crying and all that. It's all this stuff is not going to be going away anytime soon. And for the recruiting class, yeah, I think the recruiting class will either one fall apart or two, they'll have to throw so much money at these guys to keep them that it just it continues to erode their culture, their locker room. Because I can't even imagine how these things go. I mean, if you go to them, if Carter Meadows comes to him right now and says, hey, unless you give me another $1 million a year, I'm out of here. They're going to have to find a way to come up with it because they can't afford to lose these guys. And when you're in a program where the kids are calling the shots and the inmates are kind of running the asylum, man, that's a problem. I mean, that is a problem. And and for this bowl game that they've got coming up against Texas, I mean, what a clown show this is going to be. I can't even imagine with I got to check the betting line on that one right now in terms of what's going on. But yeah, they'll probably pull that line off the thing. But yeah, for Michigan, it'll be interesting to see. Do I think that they'll have trouble finding somebody? No, they'll get somebody. I mean, they'll get somebody to, Brian Kelly's available. Brian Kelly's got he just got a bag of money. He's available. He could come in there in terms of, doing whatever. Jed Fish, he could do whatever. But it's a bad job. It's a bad job because you've got no, or virtually no local recruiting base. You've got no national recruiting presence. Your brand is so tainted, and your fans have got unrealistic expectations of success. A lot of the same problems that bedeviled Penn State. They're still stuck in the Joe Pa Erno, era where they're like, "Hey, we can win, we can be national champions," and no, they can't. Pennsylvania football is not what it used to be, and Penn State's not what it used to be. Well, that's exactly where Michigan is, and Big Brother's Ohio State, who's the strongest brand in all of sports, and and they've got a problem with that. So yeah, this was not a good day for Michigan, not a good day for the Michigan insiders. If you're a member of a Michigan message board, you've got to be asking those guys, how in the world did Buckeye scoop you guys on this one again? Like when you guys are sitting there denying, like, so either you were lying to your customers the whole time, or you're complicit in this whole thing. Like you guys were part of the cover up. You were willing to go along with the cover up of him impregnating the staffer to get through signing day. And what does that say about you? It's just the Michigan way. It's the whole thing just gives me an icky feeling, and it's super disgusting.
Nevada, we haven't even brought up the hacking of students' information and the pictures and all that stuff and the civil lawsuit that's going to come out of that. They haven't even started that, have they? Is there anything new from that? I mean, is the ball rolling on that yet? Like, we haven't even talked about that, bro. Like, there are so many things. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is going to also get the ball rolling on who knows what's going to come out of this. More lawsuits, who knows, man. It's wild.
No, but Devin, that's a great point. I mean, honestly, and it's hard to believe that we could. I wouldn't say we, but that I could for a moment forget about the largest cyber stalking thing in the history of the world. You know what I'm saying? And that went on. Oh, that was the Michigan offensive coordinator that was doing it.
Matt Weiss.
I mean, it's just crazy that how how in the world could they be so unlucky that all these scandals hit the same program? You know what I'm saying? Like, and at some point, guys, you have to. There's got to be a little bit of self-reflection where you got to go, maybe we're out of control. Maybe our just blind pursuit of winning at the to the cost of everything else has really led us to this place where people feel like they can do anything and it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how illegal, immoral, whatever it doesn't matter. We can do it because it's we're Michigan football. That's kind of where we're at. I mean, if there ever was a rogue program, and if there ever was a program that lacked institutional control, that was completely just completely gone off the rails, it's Michigan. And it's not just football. It's basketball. It's hockey. I mean, it goes throughout that thing. It's the entire athletic department at Michigan. And yeah, the Matt Weiss thing. No, that thing's that story is going to be told. That story is going to be a 30 for 30 documentary. That thing's going to be a multi-billion-dollar settlement for Michigan. I mean, that thing's going to have far-reaching implications. So it's not even but for Michigan, like I said, just another day another day, another scandal. How many staff members now at Michigan have been involved again? Like every one of them? Has there been a single Michigan staff member that's come that didn't either get a drunk driving arrest, cyber stalking, show cause, fired in disgrace? I mean,
Meeting
like,
meeting people at Walmart.
we need people at Walmart. Like, I mean, it just goes on and on and on and on. Just awful, man.
Yeah, I don't know how you can be a YouTuber or an insider for them or a fan of them or one of those Ohio State fans that kind of goes both ways and wants to be friendly with people that back stuff like this up. I just don't know how that's possible at this point in time. You really got to reach at that point in time because it's very obvious now. There's no more benefit of the doubt. I mean, the NCAA gave them the benefit of the doubt. I bet you some people inside the NCAA feel real stupid right now. They said, hey, well, if we would have had more information, we could have been able to hammer them harder. And I mean, that's a whole other thing in itself. But I just placed a bet, Nevada. It's 6.5. The line is 6.5. I just put it on Texas right now. I feel like that's pretty good money right there. Am I right?
I think Texas is gonna. Well, first of all, I think Bryce Underwood sucks. I've told you guys that the whole year when people were going, he's got skills, he's got a big arm, like no, he sucks. This guy, he's got a nickel head, and he's got low character, and now you throw on top of this massive distractions like this. I mean, this will be really interesting. I mean, I don't know if there's ever been a thing where a team like accepted a thing and then backed. I don't know can they back out of the game now? You know what I'm saying? Because
I don't know.
if there ever was a program that would want to back out of a game right now, it would be Michigan. So they can say all they want about the. Can you imagine how their practices are right now? Hey guys, let's go out to practice
Oh
now.
man.
Hey, where's that fat guy that was the head coach? Oh, well, he's not here right now. So we're gonna have to leave. Oh, yeah. Where's his executive assistant? No, he got her pregnant, and so he's not there either. So I mean, what a mess. I can't even imagine what it's like to be a Michigan fan or to be a Michigan player in terms of going up there right now. But yeah, betting against them in the bowl game against Texas. I'm going to be reading my arse off for Texas too. Forget all this stuff about Big Ten pride and pride of the conference and this. And Devin, you're not one of those guys, are you, Devin? You're not I root for the Big
No,
Ten. No, no,
no,
okay.
not
Hook
at
'em.
all.
We're
No,
going to say,
I'm not.
okay, hook them on that day, and we're going to be wearing the burnt
Uh,
orange and everything like that.
100% I am. Now, I am one of those guys that's about to do this, and I do apologize for this, but on a whole other level of this thing, the human side of this is, man, dude, I mean, prayers for Sheronne's family, his wife, and his kids that are about to go through what they're about to go through, man. That is just, it's heartbreaking. Those things, they rip families apart. So, on that level, I mean, it truly is heartbreaking, and I do pray for them that God can give them peace through this time, whatever that is. But I mean, from the the Michigan standpoint, just absolutely disgusting what you're doing the families, what you're doing the kids, the example that you're giving these guys. I mean, absolutely disgusting, man. It's just disgusting.
Well, yeah, just I mean, and again, I won't even speculate as to how much his wife's known or when she's known it or whatever it is. But like I said,
Yeah,
this is a story that's been in wide circulation. Like I said, for a couple of yahoos like you and I to know it, and I don't know how the Michigan insiders missed this one or whatever. But you wonder how much of this was well known throughout the Michigan. I'm talking about the players. How much of the current Michigan players
yeah.
do you think they knew of this? You know what I'm saying? Because stuff like this with the executive assistant and Sheronne, I mean, this has to be just one of the creepiest stories ever because they had to know. I mean, in these
Well,
when this stuff goes down, man, they had to know, right?
Well, listen, remember the linebacker that just quit and he put
Yeah.
out that message? That was so weird, man. That was out of the blue. It didn't make sense. A calling from God. I mean, again, I don't have any information to back that up, but it would make sense that he would find out about something like this and decide, hey, I don't want anything to do with this. I'm gone. You know what I mean? And Michigan told him, convinced him not to report what he knew, but there's no way. There's no way Justin Spiro and us find out about this and none of the players in the locker room know about this. Yeah, right. Like, take that somewhere else. It's kind of like the sign stealing stuff. Jim Harbaugh didn't know about it. Like,
Well, yeah.
seriously, we got
Now,
to do
Devin,
this. Like,
hey, now, Devin,
what?
stop. There's no way that he could have noticed the guy on the sideline sitting right next to the defensive coordinator, pointing to the sky and screaming, pass. He just probably didn't know who that was. So hush your mouth, accusing Jim Harbaugh of knowing who that guy was, man. I'll do this podcast with you, but I'm not going to have you slander Jim
Yeah,
Harbaugh on the
that's my
thing,
bad.
okay? Okay.
That's
You,
my bad. Yeah, I mean, to talk about Jim Harbaugh that way, I mean, he's such a good
yeah.
judge of character, surrounds himself with good people. I mean, you're right. That's my fault. My bad.
Crying Sharon Moore. Those tears, man. The tears of a clown. The tears of a
Yeah,
clown. Yes. Oh,
it, it's
what a buffoon.
you can't make this stuff up, Nevada. We couldn't with as much hate as we have for that program. It's like you couldn't write a story and make these things up as well as they are doing right now. It's absolutely insane that because the goes all the way up Nevada. Is there anybody in that place that gives a dang? Anybody? Is there anybody in there? Has the Ohio State rivalry absolutely broke them to a point where they will allow this stuff to go on in their program as long as we beat Ohio State? Has this rivalry made them throw away all their morals, all their ethics, everything? Just to go try to beat your rival? Is that what has happened? Because they didn't stand a chance at no national title the last 2 years, yet they keep their head coach around who is doing these type of things they've known for months. It just begs the question. I mean, what's the order of their morals or their ethics inside that place? That I don't think they exist.
Well, I know
It's
that was a rhetorical question because you know the answer to that, Devin.
yes,
You know,
yes,
the answer is absolutely. That 18 of 20 years or whatever it was when we beat them broke them. That absolutely broke them. And Jim Harbaugh came out and said, "We're going to find a way to beat these guys or die trying." And like when he said that, that was the one time he was being honest. He was like, "We'll do anything to beat them," and he let it be known that from a recruiting standpoint, he told the recruiting coordinators go right up the line and go over it. He told Sheronne Moore to cheat. He told Connor Stallions to cheat. He told Fredo Harbaugh to cheat. Jesse Minter to cheat. Clinkscale to cheat. I mean, it was on like Donkey Kong up there, man. Like that's what they were doing. And I think for for Michigan fans, you just got to ask yourself, was this worth it? And you know what? The sad thing is, if what do you think the answer would be if you asked the Michigan fans, was it all worth it? What do you think their answer would be?
Bro, I don't know though.
I'm
Like
going to tell I'm going to tell you it was worth it to them because for
I
them to
know
get
that's why I said
that one national title in 2020, for them it was all worth it, man. It was all and it all. I mean, you listen to we did that show with you on the night before, and you had
yeah.
that Michigan guy, nice guy, come out and 95% certain that Michigan was going to win, and he was talking all that about how well, Connor Stallions, he just did it better than anybody else, and so he was just better at everybody steals signs, but he was just better at it than anybody. Like that's what they really believe. So for them, all this was worth it. All this was worth it. And so it was that win, that win the other day up in Ann Arbor had far-reaching implications because it just it finally snapped the order back to where it should be. And now Michigan has to deal with they got to look at themselves and kind of go, wait a second, this is who we are. We're a second-rate football program. We're out there. We're never going to sniff a national championship again. We're morally bankrupt. We have no culture. Our culture is cash, not culture. That's all it is. Bryce Hunter, we could sit there and diss our program for years, but then we come up with some money, and all of a sudden, yeah, now he's our quarterback. That's who you want as your quarterback. That's the guy you want leading your program, be the face of your program. That guy. Well, that's just so on brand for Michigan, man. That's so completely on brand for those guys. And for Ohio State, look, we may win, we may lose, whatever it is, but we'll never be like that. We'll
No.
never, ever, ever be like that program. And it's just a disgusting place. But this story, the fact that we had this for so long, and I wrote this on the board, the message board. I was like, they're going to have an investigation, and then they'll at the end of the investigation they'll announce that they're firing this thing. I didn't think it could come down this quick because I just hadn't really gamed it out in terms of stuff. But no, this date makes all the sense in the world. Hold it past signing day, get it before the portal, try to find a coach before all the other coaches. As you pointed out, there's a lot of good coaches have been swept up to other jobs now. So you got to go take the table scraps now to try to come to Michigan. What a mess. What a
Dabo.
complete mess. Yeah. Dabo.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That would be something, wouldn't it? Dabo. I actually like. I hear something. I got to be honest with you. I like Dabo. I do. I like Dabo. I think he's kind of a clown, but I do like Dabo, and I don't know why. I just think that he's kind of a lovable rogue, and I think he tries to do things the right way. I really do. Now maybe I've got it completely wrong. I've never felt like Michigan tried to do it the right way ever. Not for 1 second. I think they tried to, but I think Clemson
Yeah.
tries, even if they
Yeah.
whatever. But
But
that's just my
Nevada,
thought.
that's the question. That's the question now is we just watched what us dominating the rivalry did to them. Well, look what's about to happen now. So what now? Right? I mean, that's the lifeblood of their football program, this rivalry. We see the lengths that they go to do this. And right, when you're under that much pressure, I mean, maybe that broke Sheronne more. Maybe the pressure that he's being put on. But what now? Like, is this program really capable of starting over correctly, rebuilding a program the correct way? Or are we about to see them bring somebody else in and start the whole shenanigans over again? Like, do you put that past them? Do you put that past them to come in and find a way? Because the truth is that when you have something like this occur, it affects your donors, it affects your recruiting. Because it affects your donors, your recruiting is going to take a big hit, right? And when that takes a hit, it's going to take a minute to rebuild this program back up. How many times have we seen this happen? I know it's a different age, can probably be rebuilt quicker than normal, but still, it's like, how far up is this going to go? Are they going to get rid of how far up in this program? Because this isn't just a football program, Nevada, right? So it's littered throughout the entire University of Michigan, scandals and a terrorist being found there, and it's littered everywhere. So are they really going to restart and build the correct way? That's my question now. How are they going to get back to relevance the fastest way that they can? Are they still going to continue to do anything and everything they possibly can? Because it's about to kill them for the next 5 years to literally be the bottom of the barrel. The bottom of the Big Ten is where they're about to be. Are they going to be capable of, roughing through that and grinding back up to build it the correct way? That's the question of the century right there.
Yeah, well, I think it's going to all depend on who they hire as the next head coach. And I thought that when they went from the Harbaugh thing to Sheronne Moore, that was basically a sign that it was just a continuation of business as usual. You know what I'm saying? You hire the fat offensive line coach from inside, the guy that was clearly unqualified to do the job. They bring him on there. That just meant that was just like Harbaugh part two. And it's like when a popular president goes out and you bring in his vice president just to kind of continue the thing. That's what they were doing with Sheronne Moore. But now, do they go a different direction? Can they bring somebody in from the outside who's going to look at all this and kind of go, what is all this monkey business? What? Because I guarantee you, we don't know all the scandals. Like, we know a lot
No,
and we break a lot, but we don't know all. We don't know all the stuff that's going on up there at all. There's no chance. And you just know with a program that's that bad that there's got to be stuff. So do they really want to bring somebody in from the outside that's going to, look at this and kind of go, what in the world were you guys doing?
yeah.
I think that's a real question for them. And what's going to happen to their staff? Is there a wholesale firing of other guys on their staff? What do they do with that at this point in time? And then you look at their roster's configured. How many other guys on the roster stay? I'm telling you, Carter Meadows, if you're listening to my voice right now, Carter Meadows, march into the office right now and demand another $10 million from Michigan because you got them by the short hairs right now. If you hear my voice, Carter, go in there and be like, I want 10 million more dollars right now where I'm out, because you will break the program if you leave right now. So that's why they did all this. That's why they sat on this story of Sheronne Moore impregnating his executive assistant to get through signing day, to get you anything. That's how much leverage you have, Savion Hyder and Carter Meadows. So use it appropriately without there. But I mean, that's the truth. I just cannot get over the fact that they sat on this through signing day, man. That will
Yeah.
never not be funny to me. That will never ever not be funny to me. They
This
sat on this through signing day. Dave Portnoy, the Michigan man. That this is what a Michigan man does. Oh yeah, good call, Davey.
Yeah. I mean, it's disgusting. Another example of why you do not take recruits that are only coming for the money, because the second they can use that as leverage against you, I promise they're going to do it. And you're going to end up down a creek without a paddle, man. That's what's about to happen to them, man. So, hey, listen, Nevada, difference in the program. We are upset about our red zone. Okay. That's the biggest. Isn't that the biggest problem in Buckeye Nation right now? Would you agree? The biggest problem in Buckeye Nation is our red zone. Maybe our offensive coordinator got promoted to a head coach, and do we want him to stick around or not? That's what Buckeye fans are tripping about. We're different. We're different.
It is amazing. We do have first world problems. There's no question, and it's funny because I went back and did the necessary rewatch of the game, and then the rewatch of the rewatch, and I watched the game about 4 or 5 times. Let me tell you, we're close. We're close. We play those guys again. We're gonna run. There's nothing about that game that was like, oh, revealed systemic deficiencies in the program.
Yep.
Nah, I feel really good about that. Yeah, that's the kind of issues we're talking about for Michigan. Where do they go from here? Like, if you're a Michigan fan, you kind of go, well, like last year they were 8-5 and celebrated. Remember, oh, we're 8-5, but we beat Ohio State and we won our bowl. We won the opt-out bowl against Alabama. Had 18 guys opt out. Now what do you do, Michigan? You just lost Ohio State. You guys are just out, and now you're going to go play Texas in the bowl game. I think Texas. I am telling you, I think Texas is going to annihilate those guys. I think that
Yeah.
Texas defense is really good, and that Michigan offense is not very good. And I think this is going to be a bloodbath. I don't think this game will be particularly close, and I think you're going to be looking at that 6.5 point spread and just be laughing. Um, but yeah, I want. Who do you expect? Who do you think will be the interim coach? Do you think they'll go to Biff Poggi again? That's the guy that they had stand in when Sheronne
It's got
Moore.
it's got to
What?
be. It's not going to be
Yeah,
Alfrod. I
No.
was about to make a joke that they're going to try to hire Jim Knowles, but I guess Tennessee just did that. So,
Yeah.
eh,
Like not
not
Jim
old
Knowles.
Jimmy.
Jim John God's gone, but Tony Alford might be with child, so we're not sure if Tony
Can,
Alford's in a
can
position to be there.
hey, bro, can you imagine being Tony Alford right now? Like, what are you thinking, my dude? Like,
Well,
you talk
but
about one of the worst moves
yeah,
of
but
a running
yeah,
running back
yeah,
coach ever.
no, but was it really for him? Because like for him, like this is. I mean, he knew this. He knew what this was. He knew what this place was, and he wanted to go to it. I mean, Tony. I think Tony's right in his element, man. I think Tony he is elbows deep in these issues. I guarantee you, if there are scandals that are out there that we don't know about right now, I guarantee you, Tony Alford's got his fingerprints all over that stuff because he was not a guy that exactly colored within the lines at Ohio State. And I think you go up to Michigan, where it's much more where coloring outside the lines is actually encouraged. I'd really like to hear what was going on with Savion Hyder, even though I'm not sure what a recruiting violation would be anymore. So I mean, are there even
Yeah,
recruiting? I'm not sure there are recruiting violations or whatever it is, but if there are ones, Tony would be a guy allegedly who could violate those for sure because Tony is not allegedly the most ethical guy in the world.
yeah. Nevada, we do have breaking news. We do have breaking news here on the Scoop Show, and it's pretty funny because me and you were just talking about this very thing. But pretty good source. If you check your phone there, Nevada, just let us know that you know got some inside info from the conversation that occurred between Moore and his staff last night. When this information's coming out, being told Moore absolutely blew a gasket, flipped out inside, right, the staff to the staff, and threatening to bring a lot more things to the light here, a lot more things about the Stallion situation, a lot more things from inside that program. So it sounds like exactly what we were just talking about is about to be real life for these guys. Sheronne Moore not happy with the way that Michigan handled this situation, right? Which, for a couple months, then you do this to them, right? You make them feel that they find out 2 months ago, you allow him to keep coaching. He loses to Ohio State, then you fire him right after signing day. He might have a case there. I'm not saying what he did it was crazy, but I'm saying there's no way this doesn't bring about so much more drama. So many more things are about to come to the light. I'm telling you, a lot more pieces of information are going to start being plugged into the puzzle for us people. And if you want to find out those pieces first, listen and go to the scoop board.
Well, it's going to be interesting because I know that there's people that are predicting this is going to go to court and it's going. I'm predicting it won't go to court. I think that what'll happen is it'll just be a huge settlement. They're gonna have to pay him a lot of money to go away and to shut up because Michigan cannot afford to allow this to come to light. I hope that I'm wrong. I love being right, Devin, but I hope that I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I hope this is the one time that Nevadabuck is completely wrong, and I hope that Michigan tries to get cheap with Sheronne and have this go, but he knows too much, man. That guy knows way too. He knows where all the bodies are buried. He knows about the quorum stuff. I mean, he knows about all of this, and he's not going to. They're not going to allow him. You always, there's an old saying: you want somebody inside the teepee peeing out instead of outside the teepee peeing in. You know what I'm saying? They don't want him outside the teepee. They want to keep him inside the teepee as much as they can. And how are they going to do that? Pay him millions of dollars, put him on a confidentiality agreement, and tell him to shut his mouth and take his money and move on down the road. That's
Yeah.
that's what's going to be. And for Sheronne Moore, he can't even go somewhere else and coach because he's under a show cause. He's under a show cause right now, so he can't even go take another job in college football right now. So unless you're going to become like the offensive line, the special teams coach at the Birmingham Stallions or the Rhine Fire of the World League or something like that, he can't even work in college coaching for the next 2 years. So Sharon's
Yeah.
going to get paid, but it'll be really interesting to see how they handle it. And again, I hope I'm wrong.
So a couple pieces of information for you guys listening, but before I do that, need you to hit the subscribe button. Need you to hit the like button as well. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. We haven't even hit super chats yet, but keep those going. They go to our Pay It Forward, help out the veterans who help us out every single day. Nevada, here's some information for you. This Sheronne Moore is apparently arrested right now. Just got arrested. Justin Spiro is reporting he's been arrested as of 26 minutes ago in Saline. This will be the seventh Michigan coach that has been arrested since Jim Harbaugh arrived in 2015, and that does not include Alex Ude, who was alleged child sex solicitation. Shout out Justin Spiro for that information breaking on his X account
Well,
right
now
now.
he was arrested. He was arrested for what? What was the basis for the arrest? Does it say?
I'll pull it up for you, right, so we can all look at it
Okay.
together.
Okay. Thank you, Devin.
You're welcome. Gotcha. This is what I do, man. This is what I do.
That's what I love.
Here we go. Here it is. Take a look at it. Is this Spiro like trolling or no? I mean, he's saying he's arrested. This would be the seventh Michigan football staffer arrested since Jim Harbaugh in 2015. Sheronne Moore been arrested in Saline.
Wow. Well, now I had heard, and I couldn't substantiate that there was some sort of like he was like having some sort of a breakdown and was threatening to kill himself. I mean, that's what I'd heard is that there was some sort of a emotional incident. That's what I'd heard. I don't know that to
Yeah.
be fact. I don't know that to be fact. And I don't know if that's the basis for this arrest or what this thing is. But this thing, you know, it's it's a horrible story. It's a horrible story, and
Is, man.
it's just a horrible indictment of Michigan that they let it go on like this. They let this go on this far.
I
They let this get to this point. I completely blame Michigan. I blame the athletic director. I blame their culture that allowed something like this to get to this point. They created this problem. They are 100% responsible for it.
Listen, I mean, we live in this football world of this rivalry of Michigan and Ohio State, and that's the context that we're talking in right now. But the other context of this is a very, very sad, real context of real life, right? Of real families, real people here. And when you allow, right, when you're the Michigan higher ups allow things like this to go on, these are the results of that. This is you sowing what you reap. When you reap hate, destruction, lying, cheating, stealing, when you reap those things, you will sow real people, real families' lives being absolutely crumbled and destroyed. And it doesn't get any sadder, man. It doesn't. So, right, we can all talk about this in the football context like we are right now, but that's the thing I'm trying to get across to people. I tried to get it across to people in the sign stealing thing. Nevada, the same thing with the sign stealing. Everybody talks about it in the football context. Nobody wants to talk about it in the real life of the amount of lives that got ruined during that sign stealing because of what Michigan did. Like, that's the reality. And this is the reality too, man. Think about his wife and kids. And Michigan is just trolling along, acting like everything's fine. Nothing happened here. Hey, as long as we beat our rival, as long as we're relevant in football, I don't give a dang that this person's life and their kids absolutely got ruined, man. It is super sad, bro. Like, very, very sad that they allow this to go on. I think if a lot more people would connect those dots and get over the football world that we talk about, and they're our rival, and we love to see this in our rival, but in the context of the real world, man, this is sad. What they're doing to real people, real kids, like real lives. It's extremely sad, dude, what they're doing. And I just don't know how it's legal. I don't know how in the world we live in that people can let this go on. Like, it's so sad, Nevada. I hate to take it there, but it just is, bro. It's super sad to me anyway, and legit hurts my heart, right? In the real world sense.
Well, just look, when you pursue success, whatever, however you define success at any cost, and literally that's what the Michigan way is at any cost. It doesn't matter the people that are affected, the opponents, the fans, the awards, the recognition, the thing, the lying, cheating, stealing, the culture, none of that matters. All that matters is the pursuit of the ultimate goal, which is winning. And
Yeah.
that's what you're dealing with, man. And you know yourself, Devin, like in your life, if that's the only thing that if you're willing to cheat
Oh yeah.
people, to steal from people or do whatever, like there's people that do, they're called criminals. Those are people that end up in
Yeah.
jail. They to justify running Ponzi schemes or defrauding people or doing whatever it is because their pursuit of success just blinds them to that. And that's why Michigan needs a giant wholesale
Yeah.
change of staff up there. Everybody's got to go. Everybody's got to go because it's the most corrupt program in all of sports. It needs to be cleansed. It needs to be cleaned out. And the Michigan fans themselves should be the ones clamoring for this because it's disgusting.
Yeah.
I'm nauseous, and I'm not even a fan of Michigan. I can't even imagine what the Michigan fans must feel. There's got to be just this revolting feeling that this sick thing in their stomach. They're kind of going, man, that's our program. That's who we are. Man, this is wrong.
Yeah. Man, dude, I had a past life. Well, I've been very open about my past life, dude. And if it wasn't for Jesus in my life, of changing my life and radically doing it, I would be a miserable person, and I would be reaping like those type of things, man. And it's sad. It's sad to say Michigan fans should be on our side in this. They should be on their YouTube show talking about how sad and how pathetic their program is. They should be doing that. Instead, they're going to get on here, back their program up, say, oh, it was only one person. We just get rid of him and move on. Everything's fine here. Nothing to see. Ha ha ha. We're the only undefeated national champs. Ha ha ha. You lost to Indiana. Ha ha ha. They should be on our freaking side, man. Your program needs Jesus. Your program needs overhauled. These are real lives that you're affected, man. Instead, they're going to get on here looking like clowns and not say crap about it, bro. While people's lives are being ruined over this, it's just, yeah, dude, it's so pathetic, man. I mean, you got to grow up at some point. You got to get real. You got to be adults. There needs to be a freaking adult in the room inside that program. And there needs to be an adult insider there, an adult YouTuber, something. Somebody on that side stand up. A YouTuber, all you trolls listening, stand the hell up for what's right and stop ruining people's lives. Freaking do it. I mean, damn.
Yeah, well,
Sorry about
I
it.
mean, well, no, I look, I admire the passion, and you just wish that somebody within Michigan had the same passion, or that and it starts with an AD. They need an AD, they need an AD like Andy Geiger or something. You know what I'm saying? They need an adult that could come in there and just set things right because there's an old saying that a fish rots from the head down, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
With the AD's reward manual he's a corrupt dude. He's allowed this corruption to go on. He overlooked falsifying COVID reports, falsifying injury reports for the hockey program. He overlooked all the shenanigans with the basketball coach, with striking opposing coaches in the handshake
Golly,
line.
man.
I mean, like you just think about the stuff's going on, and it seems kind of like a bad soap opera. And you're like, no, that could never really happen. No, all that stuff happened up there. So this is it's just the latest, but it won't be the last. If you don't change this, those that ignore history are doomed to repeat it. It's just gonna rinse, repeat over and over. It's your culture that's causing these problems. It's not Sheronne Moore is not an isolated incident. Sheronne Moore is just another in a long line of stuff that all comes from you having this corrupt win at all cost culture. You got to change that. Until that changes, nothing's ever going to change up in Michigan.
Yeah, shout out Fox and Big Ten for allowing Dave Portnoy on there to back this stuff up and
Oh my
clown show
God.
it.
What a
Well
clown show.
done, Fox. Well done, Big Ten. Keep up the hard work. Nevada, we better get the super chats for Devin flips out. Here we go. Sam, thanks for the $1.99. Sad day for Buckeye fans. Sad day for a lot of people. Sad day for us in the football aspect. I would love for Sheronne Moore to stick around so we can keep pile driving his head into the ground on the football field because it's been, let's call some more timeouts 2 seconds before the 2 minute drill, Nevada. How about that?
Yeah, no, and I know a lot of Michigan fans for a long time were like, "Oh, keep Ryan Day on forever. We can beat," and like that was just hilarity. But I mean, when I was saying that I wanted him to keep Sheronne Moore, I was being dead serious. I was being dead
Oh,
serious.
yeah.
'Cause I mean, he's a deer in has no clue what's going on. The team doesn't get better. And I didn't think they were ever going to get better. So it is a sad day. I am sad that he's leaving. I'm sad for the family, no question about it. But as an Ohio State fan, I'm sad because that was a guy that we were going to violate year in and year out as like an annual rite of passage. Didn't matter. So I'm sad he's gone because anybody's going to be an upgrade for that program.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And thanks for the super chat. Let me get back to this. Adams, thanks for the $5, man. Michigan says cheating on the field and covering up the evidence is fine, but cheating on your wife with the staffer is where they draw the line. That the problem is they didn't draw the line. They've known for 2 months. That's not even their line. They can act like it's their line now. The only reason it's their line is because they lost to Ohio State and they got past signing day. That's it. That's not even their line. They don't have a line. It's a joke.
No, it's well said. It's true. I mean, again, no, you're right. You can impregnate a staffer. Yeah, that's like no, even that is the line. We don't know where the line is for Michigan. I don't think
There's
they
no
have a line.
line.
There is no
No.
line. They don't have a line. But clearly, and that's not hyperbole, guys. Like they have known for months about this, but it was okay as long as you're on a 4-game winning streak against your rival. Once that went away, oh no, now it's right. Nope. Unacceptable, buddy. Now you're getting fired. Oh, but not until after signing day, because that's the
Yeah.
Michigan way.
When my dog Tinker starts to get scared and walks up to me with her ears back, I know I need to calm down. She's
Yeah.
tripping right now. Calm
She's
down,
like,
Dad.
Papa, calm down,
Yeah.
Papa.
Calm down. It's okay, Tinker. It's not you. It's not your fault. Iowa Buck, thanks for the $1.99. Cheater's gonna cheat. Portal gonna be nice. Yeah, I fully expect the portal to explode for that team, but you never know. I mean, we'll see. They'll do anything to win. If they get rid of that, then the problem is some of their donors feel the same way, and some of their donors aren't affected by this, right? A bunch of millionaires that don't care about this stuff. They're all living in their high life, so right. They can see this and be sad about it, but they're still going to want to win, so they will throw extra money. Nevada, what do you think? You think you think they are going to lose some donors, but the truth is, any donors still sticking around given to this program, do they give a darn about this stuff? Do you think they do?
Well, I think they'll lose some for sure, but I question whether or not they care that much. I question how much about the portal too, because I'm trying to think about like in their program, honestly, if they said, Devin, you can have any player on their starting lineup, any player, would we want? There's literally not anybody in their top 22 that I want on my team. Not one. They've given me a choice. You're like, you can take. No, who are you going to take? I mean, I don't see anything on their team. I mean, but Carter Meadows is so in the bag and so about the bag. I'm not sure I want a guy like Savan Hyder. Do I want a guy
Yeah,
like that? Not when we got DDG coming in, and we've got Bo Jackson as a freshman. And as talented as he is, I don't want those guys. I don't want anybody from Michigan. So it's like
yeah,
it's funny. I mean, you look at our program and be like, well, I take that guy, that guy, that guy, that guy. There's not a single player at Michigan that I want. Not one. And I'm not
yeah.
kidding.
We got 5 All-Americans. How many was on the list for them?
Yeah, zero.
0.
Yeah.
Not a 1, man. And yeah, you look at players like, what is it? Andrew Marsh and Jordan Marshall, and it's like, yes, football players maybe, but then you heard what Marshall said before the game. Like any player that's going to come out and say that about another grown man, right? And then the way Marsh acted before the game, 0 catches, 0 yards. Well done, buddy. No, you don't want that type of, you don't want that in the locker room, or then we're going to be more concerned. The red zone is not going to be our biggest concern. You start getting players like that in the program. Tinker, settle down. All right. Sam, thanks for the $1.99 again. Meadows and Hyder, welcome to the Buckeyes. No, they're not going to come here, but welcome to be away from Michigan for sure. Nevada?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with those. Those are two the crown jewels of that recruiting class, and everybody's going to be in on them now. Everybody's going to be pursuing them. It is going to be very interesting to see if they can keep them, and two, how much it's going to cost them to keep them. So crazy story going to be played out with those two guys. But I mean, Carter Meadows, good play. I like Carter Meadows. I like it, but again, he's just
Baller.
the big bag chaser. So I'm just not sure if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, uh, West Coast, Florida, thanks for the 4.99. If you got something to add, throw it in the chat. Moderators, if he puts it in there, please let me know. Christopher, thanks for the $1.99. Do you think they go after Jed Fish? It's funny, Nevada, you brought his name up already.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's got to be a guy that's on the short list for sure. I think Jed Fish will be a guy, and that's yeah. I mean, whether he'd take it and leave Washington to go there, don't know, but I think his name will be on the list.
Yeah, yeah, the list is getting a lot smaller. So yeah, names like that, they're probably going to give him a call to see what's up. Joshua, thanks for the $1.99. They're about to get raided by Underwood. LSU does not want Underwood. I mean, Nevada, I think you say it perfectly. And yeah, Scarlet glasses off and everything. I mean, what about Underwood would be intriguing to people? I mean, people talk about his legs. It's like, what do you mean? What are we talking about here? I know he's a freshman, but he's digressed since he's got there. And anybody that takes him on, he's 100% going to need a full year of development, not starting. Are you going to pay him $4 million a year to sit there and develop behind somebody? No, man. Everybody is too microwave. They want to win now, and Bryce Underwood is not your answer to win now. He's not.
Well, no, he's gotten worse as the season's gone on. I mean, yeah, like I
Yeah.
said, he threw for one more yard than the Make-A-Wish kid that played against us in 2024. So it's like, I mean, it's crazy that happened, and the you've got Lane Kiffin, you know, he's too smart to go for a quarterback like that. And he's getting paid $3 million a year. I guarantee you what Underwood's going to do. Underwood's going to sit there and take the millions at Michigan and yuck it up because something, he doesn't care about winning. You know how he doesn't care about winning? Because when they were losing by 18 to USC, he was sitting on the sideline yucking it up like he just won the Super Bowl. He doesn't care. He's a bag chaser. Is that the guy you want being your quarterback? No, Lane's too smart to follow for that one. I think he's going to be at Michigan for the next few years, and I think we get to beat him up many more times, and I'm excited about that.
Yeah, go tell LeBron James about that. Christopher, thanks for the 4.99. Lincoln Riley once out of USC. You imagine the war it would be if Riley and Day coached against each other. Nevada, this is right up your alley, man.
Yeah, Lincoln Riley is not coming to Michigan. I'm just telling you. Lincoln Riley's got a great gig at USC. If Lincoln Riley leaves, it would be to the NFL or something like that. He ain't going to Michigan. I know Michigan's going to think they're getting Lincoln Riley, Kalen DeBoer, Ryan. What if Ryan Day switched? What if
Yeah.
Ryan Day left Ohio
Hey,
State in the middle of the college football playoff to take the Michigan job? Now that'd be like Hulk Hogan at Bash at the Beach, where he became the heel and flipped out with Scott Hall and went out there and dropped the big leg on Randy Macho Man Savage. That
yeah.
would be a big heel turn.
I got $1,000 on the next 24 hours. Somebody is posting an article about how the number one, person they're going after is Matt Patricia. Want to make a bet,
Oh
Nevada?
yeah, yeah. No, I wouldn't bet against that. No, they're going to be going with that one, man. That is definitely a live outcome for sure. Yeah, no, it's Michigan's going to be thinking they're going to get everybody under the sun. They'll settle for somebody, and somebody will take the job. They'll throw a bunch of money at them, but you got to clean house, man. Whoever's coming in has got to clean house because if you continue down this path the way that's going, it's a rotten program. They need to clean everybody out.
Yeah. Given thanks Lisa for the 4.99. Given hockey, basketball, football, midlist, I have a suggested title for a documentary hit: "The Death of the Mishman: A Decade of Scandals." Lisa, I like that title. Trust me, they're coming. I promise, and they're going to dwarf Connor Stallion's Netflix documentary.
Well, yeah, no, it's great super chat, and it's amazing for have these different scandals at different things throughout college football would be amazing, but the fact that they're all the same program, I mean, I just don't have words, and that's not an accident. That's not some cosmic accident. That's not a coincidence. That's not just happenstance. That's what happens when you have a rotten rogue program. You get stuff like this. Not a surprise to me at all.
Yeah. Pooh Beard, what's up, Pooh Beard? Thanks for the 4.99. 21-22 scum had Matt Weiss, Sheronne Moore, Connor Stallions, and we could add a few more names to that list, all on the same staff. Alex Ude. It's a bad parallel universe version of Saban's 2015 Alabama. Yeah, it's the multiverse, just the reverse.
Yeah, no,
Anything to add to the multiverse Saban
well,
team?
it's amazing. It is amazing when you think about that. And can you imagine what that must have been like at that time? I mean, oh my goodness, like what in the world was going on at that place during that time? But that's all under Harbaugh, man. And again, that wasn't an accident. That didn't just happen that way. Harbaugh created that. He created that environment where those are the types of people he wanted. Connor Stallions didn't just make this idea. He didn't come up with this idea and just kind of run with this. Man, this was encouraged, this was funded, this was developed, this was cultivated by Jim Harbaugh and the Michigan staff 100%. He was the whatever the opposite of the lone wolf is. That's what Connor Stallions was. The culture created him, not the other way around.
Yeah, very sad, man. Thanks, Batman, for the $1.99. Who do we think the father is? Him or Stallions? All right, you got to add a couple more names to that list. Who knows what's going on
Yeah,
inside that program,
I'm
man?
not.
I
I'm
mean,
not sure. I'm not sure Stallions could impregnate anybody. I think he's a eunuch or something
no.
like that. I think he's like Lord
Yeah.
Varys from Game of Thrones. You know what I'm
Well, also, dudes can't get pregnant, so
saying?
my bad. Here we
Allegedly.
go. Ernie Gonzalez, thanks for the 9.99. Cash flows is over as well. I watched the Ohio podcast. They showed how the 30 million kills the program in the hole it puts them in. It's a must watch to understand. Yeah, I mean, I hear people talking about that, but $30 million to a program backed up by Larry. Yeah, they're going to take a hit, but $30 million is not like a death to them. But when you add things like this and add things on to the Matt Weiss things, the civil lawsuits that they're going to go through. Yeah, this stuff ends up right hitting them hard, but there's a lot more to it than just the $30 million. But that's a big hit for sure. But you keep the ball rolling. Yeah, like I said, I, I, I don't know what they're going to do moving forward. I don't know how long it's going to take this program to get back where they want to be. I'm sure they'll think of more scandals and other ways to try to do it and then set themselves back even further. But Nevada, what you got on that?
Well, yeah, and no, I think the 30 million is something people don't want to hear that, but and the NCAA fumbled. We all know that. We knew that Michigan was getting an aggravated repeat offender failure to monitor level one charge on them. They didn't get the prescribed penalty, they got the fine, but we gave them the prescribed penalty. So they literally got both. They literally got the bowl ban and the fine on top of that because we did the business. So Michigan got the worst of all worlds. And now you've got to buy out your head coach for millions and millions of dollars. It's a something, man. I'm telling you, it's a something for Michigan. And for Michigan, that affects the amount of money they can spend on staff, the amount of money they can spend on NIL, the other things that they've got to do. It just creates turmoil for them. And anything that creates turmoil for Michigan, I'm all about that life. I love it.
Yeah, no doubt. Thanks for the 9.99, Jay Coburn. To quote Don Thomas, dude, the name just makes me laugh. Keep calm, let Sheronne Moore cook. Cooking something, man. Turns out he was baking. Touche. How many people you think end up in the portal, and how is their 2026 recruiting class affected? Yeah, I mean, me and Avad have kind of covered that. When you're in this day and age, they are going to throw bags and bags and bags. Like to this point, they're going to take whatever they have saved for next year's class and put it towards this team because they're going to have to. So it just depends how many donors stick around. This is all it's all going to come down to money at this point, but there are going to be right some long lasting effects of this. There will be people in the portal. How many in a day and age when you can throw bags at them? Is Larry Ellison still going to stick around? Does Dave Portnoy, which I don't think he's ever been as financially in it as people have reported, but it just depends, man, on on the money aspect of it. Nevada.
Well, yeah, and I think, yeah, anything that we say on the portal or the class, we'd just be speculating right now because this is so fresh. And, what you can be assured is that everybody's going to be kind of circulating around that program like piranhas. Sheronne Moore story just keeps getting sadder and sadder. Apparently, like he threatened to kill himself and was like barricading himself in the house. I mean, like this is like he's having like an emotional breakdown right now. So I feel a little yucky even goofing on him now. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of a funny
Yeah.
story when we were kind of going through it, but like that's real life, and
Yeah.
I don't enjoy hearing that. I don't enjoy it. It's sad.
No.
It's newsworthy. We're reporting it. We're part of it, but um, yeah, when you hear this stuff, you just realize how bad this whole thing's gotten and how many people, like you said, how many people have been affected by it. And it's a sad story. It went from being funny and kind of clowning to just being a really, really, really sad story about a really, really disgusting program. And I think that's where I'm kind of ending up right now.
Yeah, it is. Like I said earlier, my little rant I went on. There's the football side of this, and there's the real life side. And the real life side is, you know, I mean, things about killing yourself. I don't wish that on anybody. That's super sad. And I hold the higher ups in Michigan accountable for allowing right this type of environment to keep going on. Like I said, when you surround yourself with lying and cheating and stealing and all the other things, man, you're gonna reap what you sow every single time, bro. I mean, darkness creates more darkness. It's just what happens. Very, very sad, bro. Lewis family, thank you so much for the $50. Merry Christmas, Scoop family. No cheating, no playoffs for scum. Time for an enterprising journalist to contact more for an interview. Make journalism great again. Go Bucks. Yeah, tough when we just say what we say. When Sheronne Moore is in a place that he is in, difficult, man. Don't want that on anybody, but yeah, when you're reporting on the football side of it, it's a shame. Just a shame that a program, breeds things like this, allows things like this to go on, and puts their staff members in positions like this. If you've known about it for a couple months, deal with it then. And then things like this, right? It doesn't keep baking itself. It doesn't keep. It's the snowball effect, man. You deal with it when it arises, and the people that also get hurt from this, because it's a trickling effect, man. Handle it, bro. Right? Get your pride out of the way. Get football out of the way, because real life, they don't give a dang about people's lives, including their own coaches. Clearly, or right, there would be more things in place than just fire them the day after signing day. It's sad story. The more details we find out, it gets sadder and sadder. Nevada.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for the wonderful super chat, man. It's so much appreciated. Yeah, Michigan, it's kind of the tale of two, thing. When they stopped cheating, they stopped being successful. They weren't successful before they cheated. They were successful when they cheated. They're not successful after they cheated. And now, this is where they kind of end up in this whole thing with Sheronne Moore, breaking down. And I got to correct you on one thing though, and I think maybe I want to make sure didn't misspeak. I'm saying they've known for months. This story has been around Michigan for years. The Sheronne
Wow.
Moore extracurricular activities thing has been a poorly guided secret. But again, you know, it just it just they've all known about this, Devin. They've all known about this. They've known about this for a very long time, and it was just okay. In the culture that was Michigan, what he was doing was okay because they were winning. And once he stopped winning, it was no longer okay. And that to me is like that's the whole story. That's the whole thing about the scandal in a nutshell. And that's what makes this whole thing so disgusting.
Yeah, it is. Brian Fogel, thank you for wait. I didn't read this one. Wholesome Necessity, thanks for the 4.99. That program is getting all the karma from the football scandal that the NCAA refused to enforce. Yeah, man, it just goes to show you, you keep this up for long enough, things are going to trickle downhill. And right, this, as Nevada just said, this really, it's coming out now, but when the program right relies so much on, and they hold so high the rivalry, in winning football, and you do literally whatever it takes for success, people are going to get hurt. Families are going to get hurt. It's going to happen. I would love to tell you that they are going to learn their lesson and they are going to change their way. But, you can, the benefit of the doubt is over. The benefit of the doubt for them has been gone since the cheating scandal for me. I did a show with Spiro during that time. And as we were talking about, like, there's so much benefit of the doubt you got to give this program to this point to find any positivity. It just doesn't make sense anymore. And you see what it does. It trickles down, man. This is real life. People get hurt, man, and you think they would learn their lesson. I would love to say they will, but who knows?
Yeah, no,
Nevada.
yeah, no, I'm just wondering, where, where they go and what they do. Like, you always say, do people have that moment of clarity where they hit rock bottom and they, kind of feel like this is the end? Is this rock bottom for Michigan? Have they hit? Will they have that moment of clarity where they take a step back and look at this and kind of go, this is all wrong, man? But I think it's going to start with some Michigan fans having that moment of clarity and finally doing it. I'm not seeing any of that initially from this in terms of their reaction to this scandal. Just seems like more of the same, crazy cult like behavior that they're going through. But I'm hoping for them that they kind of get it together and figure out that this thing needs to change, and it starts with them changing their behavior as well.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Now, Buckeye fans would be letting people know immediately. Brian Fogel, thanks for the $10. Breaking news: allegedly Connor Stallions was sighted outside of Ann Arbor Hotel in a disguise with video glasses on advanced scouting for Michigan head coach wife. Man,
Oh no! Oh no! Oh
man, I
man!
mean, that's dude. Hey, bro. I tell
Uh,
you, who's not going to hold back? Twitter is not real life. Let's get that
no,
real
no.
fast. Like, it's a fantasy world. So I know on this podcast we've hit the real life side of things. We're aware of that. We've already said, hey, we don't wish that on anybody. It sucks for them. But boy, are the memes. And oh, dude, it's about to be crazy for those guys, man. And it's going to suck. We already know how they're going to respond. The fans and the trolls, they're going to be excuse for excuse for excuse. Nevada.
Yeah, no, that's what they do. I mean, they excuse excuse, and it is kind of sad because, like, you like to think that that's just like the ravings of the lunatic fringe, but it's not. Like, that's the mainstream view of the Michigan fans. They'll forgive anything, they'll overlook anything, they'll explain away anything. They'll try to, rationalize any type of behavior. In pursuit of victory. I think it had to take a season like this where they just got so thoroughly destroyed by Ohio State, where they know that their football program's really going nowhere. I think this is kind of the thing and now their coach is involved in this kind of, he impregnated a staff member. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, man. Come on, Michigan fans. You got to be better than this, guys. Come on.
Yeah. And if what, Matt, I'm sure you're getting the same text messages. If the things that are being texted right now that are also connected to this thing, like if this stuff comes out, then Michigan fans, you guys gotta stop the Michigan man trolling
Oh
stuff, and,
yeah,
and,
yeah, yeah,
and get your
exactly.
stuff together. Get your stuff together, guys. I mean, this can't. If you don't change, it's going to continue to ruin people's lives. Thanks for the $2, Philip. Kerry Combs, head coach at Team Up North. Dude, I don't know where they're going to go. Kerry Combs, though, I don't know. Is Kerry Combs going to stick around after this? Did he know? I don't know. There's too many speculation at this point. Who knows? What's going to happen. Nevada, you got anything there? I don't.
Well, like I said, if you ask me, we talked about it earlier, but I think, they'll probably turn to Poggi for the head coaching job for the bowl, for the opt-out bowl. They'll have Poggi. But I'm interested to see how many guys play in it. Like, how many guys are going to play in this meaningless bowl game under this interim coach and this broken staff? And I mean, what a mess. What a complete and absolute total. And how many Michigan fans are going to travel to go see this game? Because I've talked about this before in terms of like when teams accept these bids to go to these bowl games, they have to commit to buy tickets. That's the whole thing. The bowl games are like, okay, we'll give you this invitation, but you have to commit to buy 30,000 tickets. And the bigger programs go, yeah, no problem. Our fans love it. They'll go down, they'll buy the tickets. Are Michigan fans really going to be paying money to go watch the opt-out bowl against Texas where they're going to get violated with an interim staff in terms of doing it? I don't know. And we talk about a program that's already racked with financial issues between the NCAA, the imminent Sheronne Moore buyout. Obviously the Weiss thing is above and beyond, but in all these things that's created this multi-million, tens of $1 million hole in their budget. Are they going to dig the hole deeper by having to buy tickets to the bowl game? I don't know.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of unknowns right now, but how many players are about to be injured and can't play in this bowl game? I bet you the list is pretty long, man. Thanks for the 4.99, A Sparks. Is Brian Kelly rumored? Well, it's also fresh, man. Brian Kelly will be rumored. Dabo Swinney will be rumored. Matt Patricia will be rumored. Jed Fish will be rumored. Everybody's going to be rumored. I mean, shoot. Brian Hartline might get thrown in there. Who knows? Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
Nevada.
No. Brian Kelly makes sense. He's available, and he just got a big boatload of money. So like he's certainly available, and they could probably get him at a discount. And he's looking for another challenge. So that could definitely happen.
Yeah. Will the Thrill, thanks for the $1.99. Hide your blondes. Sheronne has free time. That he does, man. There's a side to this where, man, you a grown man. If you a man listen to this, every action has a consequence. It does. So, check yourself, man. There's going to be consequences if you're going to go out and be reckless and do things like this. And he's going to have to face his consequences now and hopefully, change the way he lives his life. Nevada.
Yeah. No. Apparently, Sharon, like I said, this has been a bunch of incidents like this, and they all had one thing in common, which is the blonde hair. He does like the blonde. He does like the
Yeah.
blondes. Also, I just got a text that confirmed that Poggi is the confirmed interim coach for Michigan. That's what I've just got. So Biff Poggi, the guy that led them to their tremendous victories during the time when Sheronne Moore was suspended, is going to be the head coach for them, and I'm sure that'll be super awesome. But Poggi's just another one of those guys that's been part of this culture of destruction that's been going on there. I know they have to go with him right now because he's there and he's available. But they get rid of guys like that. They have to start
Yeah.
new. They have to get rid of all these Michigan men that are on the program because it's like it's like when you're like infected with this disease, you've got to cut out the disease. You got to quit
Yeah.
having these guys here that have this with them. Otherwise, you're just going to continue this cycle of destruction that's been going on at Michigan for so long. They got to get rid of guys like Biff Poggi. Those guys are the problem. They're not the solution.
Yeah. I mean, it takes one. It takes one person. Like I've been involved in my life of, running ministries with 100 men in it, and literally one person can disrupt an entire culture. Hence, the other side of that, when you see Ohio State, the way they recruit, the way they attack the portal, man, you don't see this, man. They do their homework. They don't play games. They don't take chances with people that don't agree, that don't live right in the culture that they want there, because they know it takes one man. It takes one person to do that. So yeah, Nevada, you're dead right there. Mark Allen, thanks for the $5. How does Ward Manuel still have a job? I thought for sure he'd be gone. Nevada, you answer this. I got to take a quick 2-minute break.
Yeah, it's been one of life's great mysteries is how Ward Manuel still does have a job. I have been speculating for a long time that he's got to be gone. He's just been completely embroiled in scandal. I thought that they wanted him to stay on. I knew that they wanted him to stay on through the NCAA investigation, and once the NCAA investigation ended, that maybe they could kind of send him on down the road. This has got to be the end for him. Because he's been the guy. He's been the common denominator in all of these scandals and the men's hockey scandal, which was terrible. I'm telling you, if you dig into that one a little bit more, the Michigan hockey scandal was absolutely terrible. He was the guy that was overseeing. He was the guy that was looking the other way. The basketball coach scandal. He was the one that was looking the other way. Excusing the behavior because the guy was a former member of the Fab Five and they were winning a few games. He's the same guy with the Harbaugh thing. I mean, so Ward Manuel is the common denominator. I'm not saying that he's the reason this happened, but if you ask me, said Nevada, who, if you have to assign blame to one person more than any other person, is it Yoko Ono? Is it Jim Harbaugh? Is it Matt Weiss? Is it Connor Stallions? Who's the person that's the most responsible for this? Ward Manuel. It's Ward Manuel. It's your AD. Your AD absolutely has created the culture, has created the environment where this type of behavior is rewarded, is celebrated. He's the guy. Will getting rid of him solve the problem? No, but it's a start. It's a start. So I think for Michigan, if you're a Michigan fan and you really care about the program, you really care about the brand, you really care about your reputation, fire Ward Manuel, get rid of him, start over, clean the whole thing out from the bottom of the deck all the way up, and that's the only way you're going to get rid of this stink anytime soon.
Yeah, Nevada. My only thing to that, it would be like, why is he still here? You know what I mean? So it would have made perfect sense. He should have been gone already. You think he's going to be gone now, but I thought he was already going to be gone. So who the heck knows what this dude's got going on there? But you would think he's going to be gone. But we got somebody else, man, that wants to join this parade of talking about what we got going on. Funky, how are you tonight, my dude?
I'm doing it's I mean, I'm not even sure what the right words are. It's just insane. And I'm coming in with
Yeah.
breaking news since I know you guys have not been on the Twitter circuit, but it's been confirmed that Sheronne Moore has been arrested. And I know that we know of what he's allegedly been arrested for, and it's out there on the internet right now. And those internet rumors seem to be true. So I'm not going to say what they are because it's pretty horrible and just stuff that I really don't want to be saying on anything. But those have very truth to them. I'll say that allegedly have truth to them. And he just got arrested for those alleged crimes just now. That was released by Dan Rutzel just now 2 minutes ago. So this is deeper than anyone's thinks. It's been going on for months, and they've known this for months. And it's the big cover up. But it got so big that something had to break. Something absolutely had to break. It is absolutely insane, and this shouldn't be shocking to anyone because when you have a culture like Michigan does, this stuff tends to happen more. It just does. It's like Georgia with driving. When you keep doing it, it tends to happen more. It's a culture of it. This stuff doesn't just happen to every team. It's not unlucky. It's not the whatever. It's not a few bad apples in the bunch. All the apples are infected with poison. They all are, and the only way to avoid it is throwing out all the apples. Throwing out all the apples. It starts with Ward Manuel, starts with Sheronne Moore. I could see, I mean, there's going to be a max exodus of players. Obviously, we don't know exactly who's leaving right now. We can only speculate, but I can only assume that this stuff is going to be crazy. I'd be shocked at this point if Michigan plays in the bowl game. I would be absolutely shocked. How are they going to play in the bowl game? And what are they going to do between the third and the fourth quarter? Play Mr. Brightside? That doesn't seem appropriate at this time to be, playing that song during the third and fourth quarter.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I'm a man of truth.
No. Funky just went to the Mr. Brightside thing, man. We haven't even gone into that. It's like,
dude, Texas is still 6.5, guys. If you want free money, go there now.
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be the ultimate opt-out bowl. Sorry, Nevada, I'll let you go. But it's going to be the ultimate opt-out bowl. Yeah.
No, I think Devin has just put his mortgage payment there on the Texas line. Hook 'em. Let's go, boys. Hook 'em.
It's done.
Seriously, I mean, get on your Kalshi app right now. Yeah. And it's absolutely insane what's happening. And as you guys know, or as a lot of the Scoop watchers have known, I have one really, really good source within the Michigan program who's given me the Justin Haynes injury, gave me how the Ernest Harmon quit on the team, gave me Samaji Morgan quitting on the team, and all three of those things have been completely true. Gave me Justin Haynes out for the year, gave me the exact surgery that he got, nailed it all. So very grateful for that relationship. And he's been texting me all the time. I've been obviously texting him after this, and he told me about what happened last night, what just happened, and he's the one who told me about what confirming the internet rumor that he now got allegedly arrested for. So this stuff is absolutely insane. It's hard to even comprehend. I can't believe this is all happening at once. And what a massive live show we have right now. I mean, this is one of our biggest ones in a while. 1,500 people. Holy crap! This is what an insane day for everyone involved, and just it's going to be crazy. It's going to be even crazier as now the portal opens up. They're going to have a portal season open for 2 months. So now conversations start now about players going in the portal automatically because the coach got fired. So this is stuff to watch out for, and stuff's going to start breaking now. These kids and their parents are pissed. They're already committing to a sanction program. They already got the little letter in the mail saying, we screwed up. We did all this stallion stuff. Remember in the punishment, part of the punishment is, well, they had to give this little pamphlet to any kids that they're recruiting about all the things they screwed up on. So I'm assuming a lot of these parents had to read that and were like, damn, that's kind of sketchy. That's kind of bad. And they're talking about being $30 million in debt, or even more than that, $50 million, because the $20 million revenue sharing on top of the $30 million fine they had to do just for the football program. And they go 9-3 lose to Ohio State, and then have this break, and then Sheronne Moore's allegedly arrested for a really serious crime. I mean, this stuff's just going to get worse and worse and worse, and I don't see how anyone wants to take this Michigan job at this point. I don't see how Michigan wants to pony up $100 million to get someone at this point, and I don't see how any good players on Michigan stay with them at this point. This is going to be layers on layers on layers, and I can't wait to talk about it for the next 3 months because it's going to be absolutely insane, all while watching Ohio State win the national championship, by the way.
And this stuff, by the way, right, coming off of Nevada telling us that, it's been rumored that they've known about these type of actions for this long, definitely have known about this particular action for a couple months, and the university sits and holds it and keeps their coach hired. This happens. Sheronne Moore losing his cool to the rumored, to the most highest extent you can lose your cool to, luckily getting caught in the process of that, or it would have been way worse. The implications that are going to come down on this from whoever knew about this inside the university and wanted to wait till now to act on it. Holy crap, God. I mean, holy crap. That's ridiculous.
Well, it's a crazy story, and I'm not sure there's really a precedent for this one. I'm
No.
trying to look back on my life and try to think about like a head coach being fired and then being arrested for dot. I mean, I, I just don't have any words. It's just like I said, the story went from being outrageous to funny to just plain sad at this point, and it's a terrible story about a terrible program. But let me tell you guys, it was inevitable. This was inevitable. Like Thanos when he's like, I am inevitable. Like, this is what this story. When you do all this stuff, something like this is exactly what happens. This is not something that happens by accident. This is not something that happens, but this is what happens when you do this. And I think for Michigan, they put themselves in this position. The number of players that are going to opt out of this game, the number of players the people that are going to decommit. Um, I, I, I'd like to say that I feel bad for him, but there's not one part of me that feels bad for Michigan. They're just not, because they brought this on themselves. They brought this on themselves with their disgusting behavior and with all that primping and the preening about the Michigan men and stuff like that. You think it's just harmless fun, but it's not. What it just shows this disconnect between reality and what's the morally and ethical way to live your life and operate your program, and they just know nothing of that stuff. So for them, I look at this thing and I'm just like, this story had to happen. It's sad for Sheronne Moore's family, but for the Michigan program, man, you get exactly what you deserve.
Yeah, and still, I'll reiterate, for the Big Ten and Fox to put a clown like Portnoy on there, pressure, pressure, pressure. He's connected to all this crap too, backing it up, talking all he has, man. All these clowns involved in this, they better switch their stance on a lot of things real quick, man. Yabi, thanks for the $1.99. Is Knowles going to Tennessee on the show? What's the report, fellas?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, Knowles is going to Tennessee, which is a good job for him. And I've said this before, but I'm not a Jim Knowles hater. I admired the job that Jim Knowles did. I think Jim Knowles, it was time for him to move on. He moved on. Well, Ryan Day hit it out of the park, grand slam, home run with Matt Patricia. And so I'm grateful for Jim Knowles, moving us, from a bad defense under Kerry Combs to an elite defense. I'm certainly grateful for that national championship that I'll never forget, one of the highlights of my life. And now he's going to Tennessee. Wish him luck there anytime other than when he's playing us. So go with God, Jim. But yes, he is going to Tennessee. That is confirmed.
I'll take a little
Yeah,
more irresponsible take on this, but watching Jim Knowles have a complete, utter failure season at Penn State, then Sheronne Moore canned, and then on top of that, Michigan fans begging to hire, you know who they want? They want Jesse Showcause Minter to be their next head coach of their team. So they're talking about going from hiring the first ever Showcause coach to hiring the second ever coach with the Showcause. And usually when you get a show cause, you're done with coaching. And they want to hire a second one for a separate cheating scandal in the Michigan football program. So this is absolutely hilarious that, Knowles is having his turmoil and has to go down to the SEC. I can't imagine that's going to turn out well from him because, it takes 3 years for his process to go. And I'm not sure he's going to get 3 years at Tennessee because the pupil's already kind of a little bit on the hot seat there if he doesn't turn things around and start winning 10, 11 games, because that's kind of the pressure everywhere. The pressure is to win no matter what conference you're in, no matter where you're at. Your expectation is to win 10 plus games and make the college football playoffs, especially at a school at Tennessee who's investing probably upwards of 60, 70, 80 million dollars altogether in their football program. I mean, they're charging their fans a 10% talent fee. So if you want to start charging a talent fee, then that talent fee better start winning or the fans will start being mad. So I'm not sure if that's a great place for Knowles because I think he's going to get lit up in the SEC. But I truly don't care because we upgraded on a hire, and honestly, yeah, I don't love Jim Knowles. Not a big fan after leaving to a conference rival after winning a national title. So I won't be sad if he fails there as well. But it's just honestly hilarious that more bad stuff could happen to these two, especially Michigan. They deserve this stuff. But the one person who doesn't deserve this stuff is the alleged victim of Sheronne Moore. So I feel bad for her since she got herself wrapped up into something way more serious than she ever probably thought. And who knows what was going on behind the scenes and the pressure she was put on allegedly. So it'll be very interesting to track for the next for a long, long time because I can assume this is probably going to go to court, and then in court that might open up a whole another can of worms on the field and off the field.
yeah. If you guys are intrigued with this situation, what is going on, and maybe who the next head coach at Michigan is going to be, I encourage you go over to the Scoop message board because there's some breaking news on there right now. Shout out to Oracle. Made a post stating that Michigan already has their head coach. They know who it's going to be. That's why they line this timing up the way it is. He's going to be dropping the name over there. Supposedly it's a done deal. It's a good coach. We're not going to like the hire because it's supposedly a good hire. So go over there, Scoop message board, if you want to find out that information. It's a lock. He's got it locked down, the name, and he will be dropping it as soon as he is able. Either of you guys got anything on that?
Yeah, I heard the name. I mean, I get accused of being the Oracle. Well, I can guarantee you I'm not the Oracle on this one because I'm not sure if I'm buying the name that he's putting out there. He might be right, but I'm not sure. Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but we'll see. I am
Thank
texting the name. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Thank
Parker,
you.
Park.
I was about to tell you. You gotta text it in the chat
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So yeah,
because
no,
I
it's
gotta know.
Yeah. No, we
Oh,
got to.
dude, no.
I know. That's what. That's.
No.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm like. I mean, maybe. Like you never say never. Like I don't care who it is. Michigan is a fatally flawed program, man. It doesn't matter. It's a fatally flawed program. Jim Harbaugh couldn't win there without cheating. Jim Harbaugh's a great coach. Jim Harbaugh's a coach that taken his team to the Super Bowl. Jim Harbaugh won at Stanford. I mean, Jim Harbaugh's a great coach. Weird guy, not ethical guy, but great football coach. And he couldn't win at Michigan. The only way he won was cheating because before that
Yeah.
he was just getting violated. So I don't care who they get or whatever they get, but I'm sure Michigan fans will be celebrating like this is some great accomplishment for them. Guys, you guys are looking at this entirely the wrong way. This is the most disgusting scandal maybe ever. So you guys need to do some self-reflection. But yeah, this
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to follow. But we do have a name. Get ready for a name.
You're going to want to go to the Scoop message board. You're going to love this name. I promise. Go if you're not subscribed, go subscribe right now. It's worth at least 1 month to know this name. It's going to create some serious conversation. Will the Thrill, thanks for the $1.99. Andrew Marsh would look good in scarlet and gray.
On the
I
bench.
appreciate the super chat. I couldn't disagree with you more, Will the Thrill. But I think for the super chat, when I watched his attitude before the game, bumping into our coaches, the way he did, good player, but does not fit the culture at all. Give me Nick Marsh.
Yeah,
Anybody?
yeah, I know. Yeah, you want to take players from them because I think he's the one player that they have that's got some potential. But I agree with you. His act is pretty clownish. But he's the perfect Michigan man, though. He's perfect for that Michigan thing. And but I hope let's put it this way. I hope he goes somewhere else and leaves them because I do think he is talented. But yeah, I'll roll with our guys and let's go get Cam Coleman or Ryan Williams or Nick Marsh
Yeah.
and call it a day.
Yeah, shout out Sports Talk Jay for boosting the show today. So shout out to all his viewers. Shout out to him. I watch his stuff. I mean, every single time he posts it. Probably the best, or definitely the best Tennessee fan on YouTube. And then his show's super entertaining. So thanks for boosting the show. Ton of new viewers on. So like the video, subscribe. Yeah, but appreciate it.
Sports Talk J, Free Legend Bay.
Free Legend Bay.
Sports Talk, Free Legend Bay.
Yeah. Hey, Tennessee, speaking of that, they trying hard, man. They putting out some crazy stuff about him. They need to let that go. Legend Bay, a Buckeye, but big shout out Sports Talk Jay, the SEC GOAT. Go subscribe to his show, no doubt for sure, man. Little thing before I read this. Speaking of the transfer portal, might want to subscribe to the show. Might want to hit that alert bell, hit the like button, all that stuff, because you guys are going to enjoy the nuggets that we have been gathering about where the Buckeyes are looking, who they're looking at in the transfer portal. I, as a Buckeye fan, am thrilled that they are taking the approach that they are taking. You guys will be thrilled as well. We're going to be doing some shows on the names that are coming out there. It's exciting. The Buckeyes are trying to make this thing unfair, and I think they're about to. It's going to get wild. Sparks, thanks for the $9.99. When is the Board of Trustees at U of M going to see the writing on the wall and clean house? Well, if this doesn't do it, the answer to your question is never. Funky, Nevada?
Yeah, I'll go. It's got to be now. I mean, it has to be now. And they can't
Yeah.
trust Ward Manuel to hire the next head football coach. They can't. There's no way. They've got to move on him. They've got to move on him quickly. Get a new AD in there. I don't know if that delays their process or what they're doing, but they've got to get involved. We need some adults in the room up there in Michigan. They've got to do something because this, like I said, this is one of the most disgusting stories that anybody's ever heard. And it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse with every passing minute in terms of this. As this stuff comes out, when people see what's going on with Sheronne Moore and stuff, you're gonna be like, this is just it's almost surreal what is happening at this point in time. It's all happening in real time. Board of Trustees needs to step in and do something, but they gotta move on Ward Manuel immediately. That should happen today.
Funky? Anything to add?
I think phone issues. I think
All right.
Funky, you have some phone issues. He may be on the charge. So let's just keep pushing forward and Funky will jump
Here.
in when he can.
Yeah. Will the Thrill, thanks for the $9.99. Sent my blog remarks before you reported the sad part. All jokes aside, I hope he doesn't harm himself. He still has 3 kids and time to repair those relationships. Don't abandon them more than you have. Yeah, listen, guys, we all were in this together. Okay. When me and Nevada first got on here, we didn't know the sad part either. So, listen, no harm, no foul there at all. There's 2 different sides to this. There's the rivalry football part, which is still the truth. I mean, they reap what they sow. This is on them. This is on Sheronne Moore. It's nobody's fault but his own fault, and Michigan's fault as well. So it's just like, yeah, it's sad, right? Be sad for the victims. Be sad for the people that didn't have a part to doing this. But Sheronne Moore's a grown man. He did this to himself. He's going to have to figure this out on his own, man. I did it. Other people in the world have done it as well. You make mistakes. You got to move on. But no harm, no foul there. We all learned the facts about this story live in the same timeline. So, yeah, there's 2 sides to this thing. And, we're not Michigan fans over here. So we talk in reality about things. Anything to add to that, guys?
Yeah, Will, no, absolutely. No harm, no foul. We do, like you said, look, I'm the one posting memes of Sheronne Moore. So look, this story started out funny and it's sad. But I think at some point we got to laugh a little bit at this stuff because it's an absurd situation, man. It's just an absolutely absurd situation. And to me, the absurdity really goes to the fact that the Michigan fans don't seem to be getting it. And I'm just measuring this from what I'm reading from their responses are on social media and other things. They don't seem to be getting, like, there seems to be no self-reflection from that. Like, Will the Thrill is way more reflective and contemplative and introspective about this than the Michigan fans are. The Michigan fans just seem to think this is just business as usual. Just keep on cranking. Oh well, he had an affair. It's no big deal. Let's just kind of keep on. And they don't seem to care. It just goes to show you the difference between Ohio State and Michigan right now. I just think that they've been so corrupted that they just can't even see. They don't even know. There's no say they don't know that they don't know. Well, I think that's where they're at. They don't know that they don't know, and so they're just lost. And I hope they find it pretty soon because that program is lost and in the wilderness right now. That's for sure.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And like we say, there's so many other things that are going to be attached to this. The story is going to keep growing. More things are going to come out of this. This thing should have been wrapped up a long time ago, man. They should have cleaned house a long time ago. But when you're arrogant, prideful, and you that Michigan man, you reap what you sow, guys. You got to face reality at some point in time. And if you don't try to face it, it's going to face you, and you're not going to win. Be the Truth Podcast. Thanks for the $1.99. I believe that will do it for our super chat section. I did see somebody just became a member. Thank you so much, Pete. 413 became a YouTube member. I appreciate that, guys. As well, become a member of the Scoop YouTube channel. You can do that as well as become a member of the Scoop message board over there as well. Nevada, that is the end of the super chats for now. Wild, crazy show, crazy night with all these things breaking. Sad. Told you it was coming. Told you it was coming. You guys brought this up the other day on the show. We told you guys the calm situation with Michigan. People are still clowning us on that. Clown away. You guys are going to be the fools, right? With this stuff coming out, it's obvious what they did. Known cheaters. Ward Manuel, he's got to go. They got to look for a new coach. About to lose players in the portal. About to lose players in their recruiting class. Just an absolute shambles right now. And sad part about it, but, it's been coming. It's been coming. So it's just crazy, guys. Any thoughts?
Well, yeah, just one. Thanks for everybody for supporting the show. If you're like the audio formats, go over to Apple Podcasts and subscribe. Takes 2 seconds and it's free. Just Apple Podcasts, subscribe, bing, bingo, bango, bongo, taken care of. Secondly, we had this story.
Did
We
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 lose him?
we didn't. No, we did not lose them. Funky, are you
Oh,
on?
hi. Yo, sorry, I thought you were keep talking, but what a
No, I am talking, man, and I am on a heater right now.
He's talking.
I am talking right now. I am going off. We had the story. And this isn't one of those ones where we had the story, but we didn't tell you because we didn't want to go. Like, if you listen to this channel, we told you this was happening. So we knew. So these yahoos on Buckeye Scoop knew about this, but somehow this escaped the gaze of the Michigan administrator. Somehow Ward Manuel was blissfully unaware of this and needed an investigation to do it. And that investigation needed to go past National Signing Day and past the Ohio State victory in Ann Arbor. That's what they were waiting on. That's the story here. It's not the story of the transgressions of Sheronne Moore or even his mental breakdown or any of the other shenanigans that he's involved in. It's a story of a corrupt Michigan program sitting on a scandal, knowing that it was happening, but winning was way more important to them. Signing their class was way more important to them. That's the story. That's the disgusting part of this. And that's the part that I hope that gets out, because that's the thing that really makes me disgusted as a college football fan in general, as an Ohio State fan in particular. I'm disgusted by Michigan always, but no more so than today. This is rock bottom for me.
But the thing about that, Nevada, is this is not even a top 3 worst thing they've done in the last 2 years. Inside the Michigan football program, they had a legit pedophile on the staff, on the countable 10. I believe it was the quarterback's coach, get caught in action trying to get with allegedly a minor. And then they had the biggest cyber security hack in U.S. American history, where they hacked into hundreds of thousands of athletic profiles and clouds of athletes, and to see their intimate photos by the defensive coordinator on the staff. So, and then now you have Sheronne Moore, cheating, and Michigan covering it up. But they also covered up for Matt Weiss in that whole entire scandal. They covered up since day one. They let him coach in the semifinals game versus Georgia, or no, TCU. Or was it Georgia? Where I make this one of the first semifinals game, either Georgia or TCU in the semifinals, and they let him coach in it. They absolutely cover that up, and they knew about it before the game. That's already been released, so they have absolutely no morals at all. And this is the third example of this happening, because you got to remember, they covered up for Yoder or Yode, the quarterback coach for Michigan. They covered that up. The beat writers cover that up famously. Then they cover up for Matt Weiss, and now they cover for Sheronne Moore. And I know you guys have probably talked about this, but I'm just going to add on. If they beat Ohio State, then none of this would be released. Sheronne Moore was coaching for his life that game, because he knew that, and they all knew that, because they know the type of program Michigan runs. And if you win, then hey, you can do what you want, because as the famous Harbaugh quote says, do anything to win. Do absolutely anything to win, which means cover up anything. If that's minors, if that's leaking of intimate photos, if that's cheating on your wife, it's a lot of things. So it's just it's a snowball that keeps on rolling. So Michigan's athletic department has to start from zero, and that starts with firing Ward Manuel and self-proposing a bowl ban for 2 years to get just fresh faces everywhere. And that's the real steps. That's what Ohio State did worse stuff to Urban Meyer and Jim Tressel for tattoos and the Urban Meyer thing that Urban really should not have even been a part of, but he got suspended for it. And Tressel got blacklisted from the NFL as well. So it's been absolutely insane, and I just can't believe that it's even we take them seriously anymore. And that's why I really just don't even think that we should even give them any airspace and call them our rival or any of that stuff, because they're despicable. They're absolutely despicable, and this is bigger than football at this point. This is good versus evil, and it's hard to even take their fans or anyone who supports that program seriously. How can you donate money to this? I mean, that's embarrassing. That is absolutely embarrassing. If you donate money to the Michigan football program, then you're a part of the problem. You're a part of the problem. You are you need to stop. And that's just the facts of things. And that's not me hating Michigan. That's me hating cheaters on the field, cheaters off the field, pedophiles, and predators. That's what I don't like. So that's my ramble for y'all.
Well, this Dave Portnoy tweet that comes out, and I'll read this. I'll say this. This is the difference between Michigan and Ohio State. We beat Ohio State 50 years in a row, and they just say, gosh, shucks, we'll get them next year. They beat us once. Coach not only is fired, but arrested. At Michigan, it's natties or jail. Like the fact that Dave Portnoy thinks that this is funny. I mean, seriously, that's the guy that's like the standard bearer for Michigan football. That's the guy that's on Fox like like making fun of the fact that their coach just got arrested for bad stuff. We're not even gonna go. We have a line here. It's like I don't even know what the I understand Portnoy's a guy. I understand he's a troll. I understand he just says outrageous thing for clicks. But like talk about not reading the room. Oh my God. That's one of the most disgusting things I've ever read.
Yeah, no, it's it's so bad what Sheronne Moore allegedly did that I wouldn't even dare to talk about it on this show right now. I wouldn't even dare to because it's that bad. And for everyone's involved safety and even Sheronne Moore's safety for himself, I am not going to be the one wanting to be spreading what is being true, even though it is 99.9999% true. So, and I wouldn't even dare to say it. So anyone like Dave who can make a joke about this or make a light of it it's disgusting. It's nothing to do. This is bigger than the rivalry at this point. It is bigger than the rivalry. This is not football at this point. This is human lives. This is real human behavior. I mean, this woman now has her life ruined for something that's really not her fault. And yeah, so because now she will never be, I bet you Michigan fans are going to start going after her for, probably who knows really what happened, but they're probably going to start calling her a snitch and start calling her this and start calling her that and really coming and attacking her. So I hope she figures that, she, keeps her head up and gets through this because this is going to be a scary time for all involved.
Well,
Yeah, you guys can read.
Yeah, they're putting it out that he's been arrested for breaking and entering into this former assistant's house. Authorities were called among claims that Moore was showing suicidal tendencies, which we can just tell you now that's what we've been hearing. We just didn't really want to go with it until it was out there because it is a terrible. The fact that Dave Portnoy is making jokes about that. I mean, I I don't even know what to say, guys. I hate Michigan as much as anybody, but I'm not going to sit here and make jokes about that, man. That's real life. That's real life. That's just sad and terrible and just awful, awful. An awful story just got worse.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what we were hearing. So yeah, see that be confirmed is yeah, I mean that's scary for literally all involved. And yeah, now, obviously we wish Sheronne Moore keeps his head up in this whole thing because yeah, I mean he obviously screwed up big time, but doing that is never the answer. So that's scary stuff, and it's going to be interesting to see how this falls because this is gonna turmoil to bigger stuff than this because this is gonna go to court, no doubt about it, in my opinion.
Dude, Portnoy is the epitome of what is wrong with Michigan. And the sad thing is, there are so many Michigan fans that are going to respond on that tweet and support him and say, you're darn right, like making a joke of this thing. And that's why I pulled up what people are saying is actually going on because Portnoy, Michigan man, is well aware of what is going on before it gets put on Twitter. And he still wants to get on there and post these things when Sheronne Moore is out doing that and with this girl. And this is a life or death situation, and it's unfortunate. And Fox and Big Ten, you're supporting this as well. You're putting this dude on your show. Like, are we serious right now? This is the problem, right? I mean, Michigan fans, YouTubers, insiders, all this stuff. I mean, get real. Get real. I mean, stop the charade. Stop the crap. I mean, too far. Life and death is too far here, ladies and gentlemen. News for you. It's too far. I mean, to make jokes about it and do all this stuff. part of this is on y'all's shoulders too, man. Michigan fans, YouTubers, insiders, all these people. You can carry some of this on your shoulders, and you're going to react a certain way to this. You need to react the right way. Hold your program accountable for this and make a change, right? Force a change here. You guys have a voice in this situation. Make a change. Do something different. It goes beyond football at some point in time, and it's beyond football now. I promise you that. I could give a dang you beat us 50 years in a row when you're talking about a situation like this. I mean, you guys Portnoy's got to grow up, man. Unfortunately, there are so many fans that have that same exact mindset that he does because he pumps that mindset into them and they buy into it. I mean, dude, it's sad, bro. It's legit like sad, guys, for real. It's
No,
wild.
we're trying to laugh at this.
Wild.
It's just like, holy crap. And it's like, the fact that this, I thought Funky's point was really good. I mean, Sheronne Moore had to know when he was coaching that game that he was coaching for his life. He was coaching with the risk of disclosure hanging over his head, with the risk of, situation with his marriage, situation with public humiliation, losing his job, losing his career, losing his family. I mean, that was all on his head as he's coaching that game, because he had to know. As soon as he lost, man, it was on like Donkey Kong, and Michigan was going to hang him out. And I started reporting this as soon as it went out. I'm like, man, the knives are out for Sheronne. They're coming. They're coming for this guy right now. And you guys know I talked about that, many times, because I kept hearing it from people. They're coming after him, and it's like, wow, I can't believe this is what's really happening. You know what I'm saying? And yeah. The fact that Portnoy is taking glee, like I said, I know he's a shock jock, and I know that this is the kind of reaction he's looking for. But man, that's disgusting. It's disgusting. It just I'm like I said, I'm feeling just icky being even affiliated with the story. I know we're the ones that broke it. We're the ones that had it out there. Credit to Justin Spiro for doing some great work on this as well. I mean, unbelievable tip of the spear work on this. But this is just a terrible story, and the fact that they think that the Michigan fans think this is funny. Oh my God.
Yeah, he ain't done either. I mean, look at this. The playoffs are right around the corner.
Man,
All anybody can talk about is Michigan. Win, lose, or draw, it's always Michigan. You've got to be kidding. I mean, this has to be
it's a
not
troll.
real.
I mean, it's a. It's not real, and it's a troll, but it's just so poorly. It's so in poor taste, and so you just wonder, where's the line? I mean, I know social media brings out the worst in people, and I know guys like that are celebrated. The guys that can say the most outrageous things and get the most outrageous reactions are celebrated. But man, uh, it's just it's disgusting. And for Michigan to be that's the guy that everybody thinks of when they think of Michigan football. I mean, how embarrassing for them.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I could literally keep going on all of Portnoy's posts here. He's posting, his
He's unhinged.
274 point. It's. I'm
He's
not even going to
unhinged
put
right
it
now.
up. I'm not going to pull it up anymore. I mean, it's ridiculous. By the way, the name you texted Nevada, it's out there. It's all over Twitter. People are talking about it, thinking that it's a done deal as well. So, I mean, it's if
Well,
that's
Oracle do his thing when we don't want to.
yeah. I mean, it's out
Yeah,
there, but or
yeah,
whatever you guys want to do there. But
Is
yeah.
it
We'll
out
just
there or is it quote unquote out there, Dev? Like, is it out
it's
there as
quote
in
it's quote unquote out there. Hold on, I'll pull this.
well no,
I won't
just
pull it up now.
yeah, yeah. Let Oracle, if Oracle's got a post on it, let Oracle put a post on it in terms of name. We'll see. It'll be an interesting thing. Michigan's got this in their hip pocket. I'm telling you right now, no, I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe that. I think they'll go through much like people thought that Penn State had one in their hip pocket. They ended up with a good hire, but that's not who they were going after at the beginning. They were going after everybody. I think Michigan's going to go through a similar process.
Yeah. Like we said, dude, this thing is not over. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be so many more things coming out of this, and it's sad to see the reaction already from some of the Michigan fans. Do not follow Portnoy. Do not follow Don Thomas. Don't stop following these guys. That's the reason you're in this place to begin with, because you have the mindset of that. They're using you to build up their success, but it hurts and literally kills other people. I mean, it destroys people's lives. There's no way around it. That's the facts. You guys keep following this nonsense, this craziness, you're going to keep sowing this destruction. And it rolls downhill, man. You know, it rolls downhill. How do you think these players inside that building feel right now? Because not all of them go along with this. On3 just interviewed several recruits, right, from the Michigan class. Out of the 8 ones I read while you guys were talking, 4 of them said, this is a shock. I have no idea what I'm going to do at this point. The other 4 said, I know I'm home no matter what. So, like, I'm not going to speculate on any of that, like what information they know, what information they don't know. Some of them have no idea what they're going to do already, coming straight from the recruits. They literally said, I have no idea what I'm going to do at this point. So, it's wild. But
I mean, and it's going to be insane because this coaching carousel is not over. This coaching carousel is not over, and the playoffs aren't over, and teams are still very much alive in the playoffs right now. So teams are going to be dealing with this new opening at Michigan, which is a top 15, top 20 job in the nation, so it's going to be sought after by you can assume some pretty top candidates, or should be, or who knows really at this point. You really, to me, have to be a really, really low life person to take this job at this point, where you still have to give pamphlets to kids about all the real on-field football cheating, and then you have to explain to them the whole Matt Weiss defensive coordinator stuff, and then explain to them how they had an actual child predator on the staff. So a little, no amount of money can get me to be part of that program right now. Seriously, especially if you're a coach who could already make millions of dollars elsewhere at another, Power 5, Power 4 school in the Big Ten, SEC. Then if you really want to go take this job, and then you're a low life. Honestly, that's my real reaction to it. I just can't even imagine that. I mean, would you dip that low? How much money would you have to make more than you're already making if you're already a millionaire to take this job at Michigan right now and deal with all the stuff you have to deal with? On top of all this, you have to deal with Underwood. Who wants to deal with that mess right now? The kid that publicly said how horrible Michigan was at developing quarterbacks came to Michigan for a ton of money, can't stop talking on the internet, yaps and yaps and yaps, and then falls and has a very subpar freshman year. You have to deal with all these money divas. It just and you have to play Ohio State every year, and you have to play Oregon next year, and you have to play Oklahoma and Texas in the next 2 years out of conference. That's not a job where I think you could win at. You can't recruit at a high level like Nevada talked about. Michigan football is some of the worst in the entire nation. So you won't recruit at a high level. You could assume donors are going to go down. I'm not sure how Larry Ellison feels really happy about supporting Sheronne Moore's program at this point in time. So it's going to be real interesting to see what happens in the future, and if they hire the name that the Oracle is alluding to. So it'll be interesting. I'm going to go out here and say, just between us two, Dev and Nevada, I don't think they get him. I think that's crazy talk. I think that's absolutely crazy talk, but we'll see what happens coming up, because I regret changing my mind.
And guys, think about this too, right? Kirk Herbstreit's son, the Jordan Marshall, those interviews where these players are talking about how Michigan's culture is so much better than Ohio State's. They're taking shots at Ohio State. I mean, imagine what these recruits have to be getting fed, what these players, the lies they have to be getting fed, the false world that they are surrounded by, to actually say that on an interview and actually believe it when we see the fruits of their culture. This is the fruits of the culture inside that locker room. Your head coach is out doing these things. You're going to try to convince me that he goes out and lives this type of lifestyle, but yet has a super strong, really positive, good culture inside the locker room? False. Not true. It's so sad that they're surrounding these players and recruits with people that convince them and fill their head with these many lies that the culture they're living in is, I could care less whether it's Ohio State, but good. The culture you're living in is good. That's fine. You can say it's better than Ohio State, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about beyond that. Like, you're surrounding young kids and young men with people that are convincing them that the culture that they are in, it's a good thing. Look at what is going on inside that program. That's the biggest problem in my mind. That's the future of this country. That's the future of college football. That's the future. And you are convincing them that the culture that they're in is good. What are we doing? What's going on?
You're absolutely right. It's absolutely crazy, and
Bro.
and it just keeps snowballing too. So I can assure you, this is not the last time we're gonna have to be able to talk about this, because it is. I mean, it's insane, and we're gonna see it. We're gonna tell a lot about a lot of people in the next couple of weeks, including Sheronne. So it's gonna be wow. This day is unreal. I can't believe this broke today, because we knew this was gonna break, and we also heard about alleged stuff that allegedly happened today, about him getting arrested, and we heard that this allegedly might happen. But to see it all come fire this fast, it is absolutely insane. And I'm very grateful to be an Ohio State fan right now and have a Ryan Day as my head coach, who is a family man, respectful man. And also shout out Michigan State for also hiring Pat Fitzgerald, another good family man. So I can assure you that, the righteous brothers are in good hands.
Well,
Yeah.
you know who else? You know what I'm grateful for? I'm grateful for Sports Talk Jay, our great Tennessee inside man. If you're never watching a show, got to watch a show. One of the most entertaining shows on the internet. We love this guy. We're so glad that the show that we did with him in collaboration was one of the funnest shows of the year. So I just want to say, hey, thanks, Jay. Hope you guys have a great year, and good luck with Jim Knowles. I like Jim Knowles. I'm a Jim Knowles stan. I think he's going to do a great job for Tennessee. But I just want to call out the great Sports Talk Jay and thank him for all his help and support throughout this year.
Yes, but unfortunately, guys, I know you don't want this to end. Things are going to keep breaking. We'll have another show tomorrow. We're going on 2.5 hours, but we got to end this somewhere. Don't forget, hit the like button, man. Show some love. Hit the subscribe button on the Scoop channel. Go show some love to the Buckeye Boys channel if you got some time, man. Subscribe to the Scoop message board. If you're listening to us on the Apple Podcast, hit the subscribe, hit the like button as well. And I'm being serious about the Scoop message board, man. That thing's blowing up right now. There's a lot more details, a lot more intel that's not being reported on. It's being reported on over there, man. This is where things pop up first. Go over there, subscribe, and stay tuned for tomorrow's show. We're going to do some digging. Dude, there are so many Ohio State things we didn't even get to today, guys. So much news going on there. But we're on this. So, guys, we're going to be pumping out some videos for y'all. Appreciate the support. Appreciate you guys watching. God bless y'all. We love you guys. Go Buckeyes. OH.
I owe.
I